Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S S, and we are here with the series finale, final episode of What's the Word Wednesday, Season 4. And this is episode 23, the finale. It's been a long journey. It's been a long time coming. I'm grateful, while at the same time, we can be heartbreaking just a little bit, but I'm grateful for all the time and all the support that has been driven into this whole series, this whole setup. So I'm grateful for every single one of y'all. Shouts out to my brother MC0 in the building. What's the word? So we here, y'all, for last episode to go through again topics like we usually do, and then do some little recaps, and I'll preview a little bit of the final song, but I'll also do it at the end so everybody can hear the rest of it. But as y'all are coming in, y'all let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, and what's the word. It's all good, my G. I know. Hey, but we gotta leave with a bang and just gratitude, just gratefulness for the times we've shared. And shouts out again to Kundin. I see you up in here. What's the word? So we still going to have a regular show like we do. I'm still going to get into, so shouts out to all of those who are here, as well as those who will be watching this now or later, whether if it's on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, or any social media platform. If you are on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S.S Speaks. Subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S.S Speaks for more content to come and be working on since, what's the word? This is it. So for sure, you definitely want to check that out. But for tonight's episode, we are going to be getting into, and we're going to be talking about the topics, which I haven't even put them down in the comments. That's how much I'm more focused on, trying to get this all centered and fixed and just forget how to do all the regular stuff. So for tonight's episode, of course, we're still going to get into some current events. After the current events, we're going to talk about the best life, as well as the dangers of awareness. And then I want to do a recap of the series with some fun facts, as well as letting anyone pop in to, say the last piece or whatever they wanted to share. So that's what it is going to be for today. Again, don't mind me with my voice. I'm still getting it, back where it needs to. But with that being said, y'all, this time, I actually am not going to sing the song. I have the song recorded, so y'all are going to listen to at least the first half of where I would sing it, and then we'll just get everything going. But with that being said, might as well go ahead and do that. So there is, I guess you could say, the world premiere of part of the What's the Word theme song. But here y'all go.
What's the word? What's the word? Tune in, live on the channels. They all on this earth, still trying to find a word, but they heard for sure, so they gotta know.
What's the word, y'all? Yeah, what's the word? What's the word?
What's the word, y'all?
It's like,
What's the word?
what's the word?
What's the word, y'all?
It's like,
What's the word?
so tell them what's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah, what's the word? Once again, y'all, it's your brother A.D.V.I.S S, and we are here with the final series finale episode for What's the Word Wednesday, Season 4. This is episode 23. So yeah, y'all, we riding in here, we riding it out, we coasting on the last one. So I want just folks, again, have your fun, be peace. Again, appreciate the love and the support for how long it's been going on. But again, a beautiful thing doesn't mean that it's necessarily leaving and it's gone. We continue it through our own combos and conversations. But other than that, y'all, shouts to everybody's up here. John Logic, I'm appreciative of you too, brother, man. Peace and love. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for everyone that is here doing their thing and just holding it down. But again, tonight, we're going to be getting through, of course, like we usually do. We got current events. Then we're going to be talking about the best life, and quotes, air quotes. And then we're going to talk about the dangers of awareness. Again, we don't have to talk so much on this stuff, but these are just topics I still wanted to leave. And then we're going to have a recap of the series. So all the seasons, I'm going to highlight some of the stats per se that I went and looked up. So we're going to do all of that. And then at the end, I'm going to actually just play the whole song, especially if we make it. I'm not going to try to make this a whole 4 hours, but we'll see how far we go. But I want to play the whole song at the end so you can hear it. And then the song itself will be ready on Bandcamp this Sunday. So for others, it's Monday. Shouts out to my brother again, MC0. But that's how it's going to go. Other than that, y'all, let's go ahead and figure out what's the word for real. So let's get into the first half, which we're going to do some current events. I'm going to keep it a little light today for current events, just so we can have a lot more time for the topics as well as the recap. Don't know how long, again, that's going to go, but this is what we're going to end up doing. But with that, let's get to current events. For my folks, if y'all have any, when y'all want to share last current events wise, either what's going on in the world or just good things that are happening to you, please put them down in the comments, share them with me, because I want to share them with y'all, because again, I want to know what's the word. But I'll go through, briefly skim through a few of the articles that caught my attention today, and then again, we'll progress on. But again, if y'all got some that y'all want to share, please put it down in the comments. Like I said, nah, man, too late. A.D.V.I.S.S, you can chop. This is hilarious. Right. Here we go. So, first article that I got that actually popped on my radar, I just saw, comes from Business Insider. And the article title reads, "To fly and survive in hostile airspace, U.S. Air Force special operators may take the big gun off their Ghostwriter gunships." So this is interesting. Again, I'm only going to read a brief on it, and I see that there's actually some bullet points. So I am actually going to just read those bullet points in the first paragraph. And that's what we're going to do. All right. Again, article reads, bullet points we have here. The U.S. Air Force is gearing up for a conflict with well-armed adversaries. Don't know who those adversaries are, but hopefully we'll see throughout this here. As a part of that, the military branch is rethinking what aircraft it has and how they're designed. One change the Air Force is considering is removing the big gun from the AC-130 gunship. What's going on, chicken and beef? Peace and love. Thank you for popping through. So, it says, the U.S. Air Force is gearing up for a conflict with near-peer adversaries, namely China and Russia. Here we go, China and Russia stuff. Who may challenge its operations in a way it hasn't experienced in decades. So let's see. It says, like the rest of the U.S. military, the Air Force is shifting its focus from conducting counterterrorism and counterinsurgency operations to preparing for combat against opponents with capable combat jets and advanced air defense systems. Again, if you want to read more, I'm not going to go too much into it, but it looks like a lot of stuff is gearing up for an impending war. Hopefully not, but just be on the up and up. If you want to read more, this article comes from Business Insider, and the headline reads, "To fight and survive in hostile airspace, U.S. Air Force special operators may take the big gun off their Ghostwriter gunships." Just so they can compete, y'all. All right. Now, this next article, I'm actually going to read a little bit. Again, I'm going to do 3 paragraphs and we're out. And this is for my folks in LA, especially me thinking I'm like my voice. And there's actually an article that's out about this interesting illness that's happening right now during this time. So this article comes from LA Times and the headline reads, "Everyone in California seems to be sick with respiratory illness. Here's why." So I want to know, here's why. Let's see. Let's dive into this. Does it seem like a lot of people you know are sick? You're not alone. Respiratory illness season is in full swing in California and across much of the nation. In LA County, about 23% of people participating in a weekly text-based survey reported having a cough or shortness of breath for the week that ended December 10th, higher than the total reported during a late summer peak in respiratory illness, when 21% said that they had some symptoms. Early summer brought a lull, with only 10% of surveys responding saying that they had a cough or shortness of breath. Shouts out to my folks. I see you in here, Shinobi. Meanwhile, coronavirus levels in wastewater in LA County are at their highest since summer. Statewide, the level of flu-like illness, which includes non-flu viruses such as the coronavirus, is considered high, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC for short. Nationally, COVID-19 remains the primary cause for new respiratory hospitalizations, deaths, resulting in about 1,000 fatalities a week. It's still going on, y'all. But yeah, bro, even some peeps in AZ. I bet, for real. So, the flu is just happening. There's a number of different ones that they're calling it. They got flu, coronavirus. They have RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus. There's a few stuff on here, but I'm not going to read any more for y'all. But if you want to check this out, go ahead. LA Times. And the headline reads, everyone in California seems to be sick with respiratory illness. Here's why. But yeah, y'all. All right, this next one I found interesting because it's talking about historical figures. So we're going to go through a few of the historical figures and talk about that they did something pretty bad. So this article comes from Wealth of Geeks, and the title reads, 24 respected historical figures who did some pretty bad things. So let's see who they talking about. So one of them, of course, they're going to start off number one with Martin Luther King Jr. Let's see. MLK is the face of civil rights movement. However, historical accounts often simplify things, as a lot more is undercover. He allegedly engaged in academic misconduct as a student and watched his friend assaulted a woman. However, remember that some of the negative details about his life may have been meant to incriminate King. So now they're just putting that there, not knowing, not saying for sure, but using it. It could be used to discredit him. Interesting. Next one they got on here, Mahatma Gandhi. I've heard a lot about Gandhi, for real. Gandhi is often cited as the spearhead of peaceful resistance. However, he preached celibacy for newlyweds while engaged in carnal behaviors himself. He put himself on a pedestal by believing he was a more powerful being. Therefore, his teachings of abstinence didn't apply to him. Interesting. Didn't really know that piece, but okay. I'm going to just go through, say some names. We got Thomas Edison. We got, I think it's, I'll just call him Roald Dahl. I know he's an author. Dr. Seuss is another one. John Lennon. Coco Chanel. Elvis Presley. Frank Lloyd Wright. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Yeah, I'm telling you, the presidents for sure. Abraham Lincoln, because he owned slaves. I know that. Mother Teresa. Winston Churchill. Charlie Chaplin. Aristotle. Johnny Cash. John Wayne. And we'll do Steve Jobs to end it. I'm not going to continue down the list. But yes, there are more folks that are on here. But it says, if you want to check it out, article comes from Wealth of Geeks, and the headline reads, 24 respected historical figures who did some pretty bad things. If you want to check that, I'm going to actually save to go back and read a bit on that later. Right. It says, yeah, Gandhi was a hypocrite and a colonial puppet. Yes. It looks like Venezuela also wants to conquer neighboring Guyana. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Again, folks taking over what they taking over. All right, next article I'm just going to skim again. Comes from the Wall Street Journal. And the headline reads, Why Hamas Won't Release Hostages. I'm just going to read the first paragraph and then y'all can read the rest another time if you want to. So it says, deal or no deal. In the early days of Israel's counter-offensive against Hamas, the terrorist group begged for a breather. It released 105 hostages for a 7-day pause and some low-level prisoners. But Hamas has since turned down 2 offers for a pause in the fighting, each one more generous than the last. What changed? After the terrorist group brushed aside an Egyptian proposal over Christmas weekend, it says Hamas Politburo member Izzat al-Rishi, I'm saying these names terrible, don't laugh at me, explained there can be no negotiations without a complete stop to the aggression, an end to the war. On December 20th, in rejecting an Israeli offer, Politburo member Ghazi Hamad said Hamas is no longer interested in a pause here and there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even though Israel was ready to release senior Hamas terrorists as well. So yeah, y'all, if you want to read more, there's still a lot again going on. But if you want to read more and know about what's happening between Israel, Palestine, Hamas, Israelis, all of that wonderful stuff, check out this article, Wall Street Journal, and the headline reads, Why Hamas Won't Release Hostages. Bam. I found this next one was pretty interesting to do, but yeah, I said it's over. That's the word. My goodness. As we go on, we remember. Yes. But next one comes from CNBC. And the article title reads, 6 phrases you should never say to your partner, according to relationship therapists and dating experts. So let's see what those phrases are. And that's it. So the 6 phrases are, this is just like you. Second one, that's not what happened. Number 3, it's not that big of a deal. Number 4, I'm leaving. Number 5, you're overreacting. Like these reactions right now, you overreacting. And number 6, you always / you never, and whatever extra input you want to put there. But yeah, those are the 6. Again, this is just like you. That's not what happened. It's not that big of a deal. I'm leaving. You're overreacting. You're always, or you never, blah, blah, blah. Oh, another one y'all see right here says, calm down. In some instances, yeah, it doesn't help to tell somebody to calm down, because then it makes them even more upset. So I feel you on that. But yeah, if you want to read more why those 6 phrases should never be said, go check out CNBC. And the headline reads, 6 phrases you should never say to your partner, according to relationship therapists and dating experts. Hilarious. Shouts out to E-Flow. What's going on? Peace and love. Hope all is well, my G. And what's the word? Right. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep it moving. All right. This other one was interesting. Y'all can look into it. Y'all can see it. Say what's up to it. But this next one comes from Indy 100. And the article title reads, biggest ever lake contained 10 times more water than all others on Earth combined. So there's a Guinness World Book, World Record, tripping. But I want to see what is the world's largest lake. Still, it's taking December 23 for the mega lake Paradisas, as it is known now, to enter the Guinness Book of World Records. I am not even looking. It says magnetostratigraphy, measuring all of this magnetic fields in the sediments to determine this monster lake that holds all this stuff. So the name of it says it's called a mega lake Paradis, like terrible. I don't even want to know specifically. I'm just doing a terrible pronunciation of it. But it looks like it says the researchers believe that it was formed by the rising of the Central Europe's mountain ranges, a process which separated the ancient Paradis Sea from the ocean, thereby creating the mega lake. So that's it there. I'm not going to do all the extra stuff on it, but again, I'm not going in here jumping throw the names into translate to get it. But if y'all want to read more about it, comes from Indy 100, and the article title reads, biggest ever lake contained 10 times more water than all others on Earth combined. All combined. And shouts out to Chairman Dallas. I see you in here, brother. What's the word? Said ancient scrolls say that there's a legendary Pokemon there. For sure. Lugia is located there. Shout out to my Pokemon folks. Last one I got for y'all, and then we gonna move on. This article comes from USA Today, and the article title reads, House Republicans ask whether Joe Biden obstructed impeachment inquiry after Hunter Biden defied subpoena. So this one, I'm going to just read 2 paragraphs and we're done. But if y'all have more articles and more news that you like to share, please put them down in the comments, because this is going to be the final segment of current events. So put it down, y'all. So article reads, Republicans leading the House ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden are asking whether he was complicit in his son Hunter Biden's defiance of a congressional subpoena to testify before investigators. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, he's a Republican. I think this is for Kentucky. I think KY is Kentucky. And House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan, he's a Republican for Ohio, sent a letter to the White House asking for any documentation or communication between Hunter Biden, his representatives, and the White House, noting that the president was aware of his son's plan to flood the subpoena to answer questions behind closed doors. It's interesting. You know? But who knows? We'll see. But if y'all want to read more about that and figure out what's going on with this impeachment, or trying to get the inquiry for the impeachment, this article comes from USA Today, and the title reads, House Republicans ask whether Joe Biden obstructed impeachment inquiry after Hunter Biden defied subpoena. But yeah, y'all. Other than that, if y'all want to check out more news and see other articles and different types of stuff, I will go check out npr.org, www.npr.org. I'm not sponsored by them. Again, this is just one place that you can get your news, but just don't rely on one place. Go through a myriad of different places to get information, because each place has some type of bias or biasy. So make sure you get a well-rounded news source in different places. But from here, I'm just going to read some headlines and then we're done. I know I said we were done, but then we'll be done with this. So, headlines on the front. One of them, it says, a behavioral scientist's advice for changing your life. Another one, politics, Gen X and President Biden, reality bites. Another one, it says obituaries, Tom Smothers, one half of the TV comedy legends, the Smothers Brothers, passed away at 86. On with the universe. The New York Times sues ChatGPT creator OpenAI and Microsoft for copyright infringement. Interesting. U.S. appeal courts grant Apple's request to pause smartwatch import ban. I didn't even know there was a ban. These 5 charts show how life got pricier but also cheaper in 2023. And last one, 2 weeks in Gaza through one Israeli soldier's eyes. So these are the ones that are the latest stories that are out front on NPR.org. Again, if you want to read more, look through some more stuff, NPR.org. One place, but check other places. But with that, y'all, that's all the news. Unless y'all have more. If y'all have any last ones, please put them down in the comments. If not, I'm going to be closing and ending it. And we're going to be going to the next portion of the show, which we're going to be talking about the best life. But if y'all have more, please put it down in the comments before I do so and do the final disclaimer also. Right. You make sure. Pop some other stuff up. Yeah. No, this should be okay. I don't need to. But let's see. I'm going to pop through in here real quick. We laughing. Oh, I thought this was NPR. I'm saying final. Want to make a grown chicken. You're hilarious. It's not like that. It's the reality of things. The reality. Right. If there's not any news that's there, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to jump into the next topic. Said put them down like a... Yes. 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 Shouts out to Wax and Dumbfounded. You know? Guess who? Those two. But yes. What's going on, Ty? Peace and love, Tyra. What's the word? Good to see you in here. Nally, let's get it. Right. Before you start, disclaimer. So, y'all see, this is it. So, this is the final call for folks to come in and share their thoughts and also build for this final episode. As much as I love to talk to the camera, as much as I love to, again, see what's going on in the comments and sharing your comments and what you're saying, I would love to have a back and forth and a building of a convo, a reasoning with y'all on live. So, if you do decide to go ahead and join on live, just know that this is live and this is going to be posted on different platforms, whether YouTube, Instagram, everywhere else. If you're not comfortable with that, it's okay. You can stay in the comments. But if you do want to come in and you want to share, just know that this is going to be everywhere. You wave your right. And again, I'm just grateful for you joining and sharing in your thoughts and all that's there. But just letting you know, that was a disclaimer. And it's not always the same. It's always almost different every other episode, but a similar script. But yes, y'all. With that being said, let's jump to the next topic. Which the next topic, again, we can keep it as light as we want to, wherever we want to end up taking it. Next topic we're going to be talking about is the best life, or your best life. So, let's pop it in, let's go. I have a few. But that's what we're going to be getting into. But I hope all is well with everyone and that y'all are doing what y'all need to do and accomplishing what y'all need to accomplish. So, appreciate y'all. Yo,
Hello.
what's going on, Kunden? What's the word?
What's the word? It's kind of bittersweet now.
I know,
Uh,
I know,
uh,
but we here.
yeah, I can't. I hear you. You're just a black screen now.
Oh, you
Can you
can't hear me at
see me?
all?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
Oh yeah.
You're like a black screen.
I can see you. Instagram has still been having its wonderful times with all of this stuff because last episode, if you look, when I put it on YouTube for a good while, your portion when you came on, literally
Yeah.
it was just my full screen and we could just hear your voice. That was it until like a few, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes in, your picture finally popped up. So there's still something
Right.
on Instagram side. So very
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly.
What time we going to? I'm coming on later, fam. Bro, I got until about 8:30, y'all. We can do about 8:30 because then I have a show to go to right after this. But I had to set aside enough time for us to recap and to build on this last final episode. So, John, whenever you want to pop in, pop in. Okay. I'm just saying 8:30. It might be earlier. Again, it really just depends. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah. Speaking of the current events, I think last week I told you about the new Ram temple that's being built in Ayodhya, the
Yeah.
birthplace of Ram in India next month, January. It's already finished building. January 22nd will be the opening ceremony. And, uh, and it's really
Understand.
significant because not only is, uh, is Ram, a very significant part of Hinduism, it's
Mm-hmm.
also the first time in 890 years, in almost 1,000 years, we got our temple back, right? None of the like stolen or destroyed temples that were destroyed by both Christian and Islamic colonizers. Uh,
Yes.
we got it back, and in fact, even the existing temples are totally under state control in India, whereas Christian and Muslim places of worship are not under state control at all. Uh, so, yeah. And so
Mm.
I was telling you about the LA Times Hindu-phobic reporting of, you know, that opening ceremony, right? And they were saying that this temple is built on top of a destroyed mosque, you know, completely ignoring the fact that that mosque was built on top of a destroyed Hindu temple, right?
Hmm.
So it's a live omission. Well, yesterday I learned another information that was also completely ignored and not at all reported in the LA Times article, right? Which is
Okay.
that the Indian state Supreme Court, so basically the Indian government, right,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
um, actually gifted Muslims 5 acres of land to build a new mosque 25 kilometers from that Ram temple.
Hmm.
And in fact, they're building the world's biggest Quran.
Interesting.
So it's like all of these accusations that India is being oppressive towards Muslims because they destroyed the mosque and this temple is being built on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, is now sounds ridiculous. In the first place, the Indian government doesn't even have to do that because you know those Islamic colonizers should never have destroyed that Hindu temple in the first place, right? They don't even have to do this. Yet they did it anyways, right? Because Hindus, like, we believe in peace and unity and, things like that.
Mm.
So they did like this above and beyond what they even needed to do, but they did it anyways. And that's completely not reported by most of the Western news outlets.
Again, you got to read a lot of stuff with a grain of salt, and you have to go really digging if you want to get all the full details.
Right, exactly. And the Muslims in turn, like, and they have agreed to only serve like vegetarian food at that mosque. It's almost like they're like being reciprocal, right? Which
Mm.
usually is not the case, right? Because they know that this is like, this is Ayodhya, this is like a major center of Hinduism, right? So they've also given that concession as well. So on the one hand, we have, one of the biggest temples in the world that just got built.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Non è brutta, cioè,
K-Ton, peace and love for coming up in here. What's the word with you? What's the word?
okay. So I was saying, so, but this Hindu-phobic article is not only like Hindu-phobic. The fact is, the Ramayana, which is the story about Ram, right,
Yeah.
is celebrated not only in India but also in Cambodia, in Indonesia, uh, in Burma, where I'm from, in Thailand,
Mm.
uh, in Bhutan and Nepal. So in so many like, and also Japan, in so many Southeast Asian and yeah, East Asian countries, it's celebrated. So that article, if you dig deeper, is an attack on all of us and all of these groups of people as well. So
Mm.
even though they think they're social justice activists or warriors by writing that ridiculous, bigoted, hateful article, they're actually being racist and colonial. It's just pure bigotry and hatred against all of these groups of people by writing that article. And
Uh,
that's what passes for social justice these days, especially among the left.
again, that's why it's difficult to know where everyone fully stands, as well
Yeah,
as when you have various ways and definitions of how you do things, it
yeah,
starts to get skewed on figuring out, okay, then that's what you consider to be social justice. Is that what you consider is supposed to be done right? This, etc. So I think a lot of the stuff is at the end of the day has become confused and become very confusing. So it's important that you look into that stuff yourself and learn a lot of these things. So I'm not saying you're gonna know it 100%, but just act the way that you act without knowing why you act that way.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And still, of course, some Hindus naturally are worried with this mosque being built that it's going to be a center of,
Mm,
conversion, seduction, and, even terrorism, recruitment, which is, which are all like plausible worries, because
yeah.
we have a track record of 1,000 years of terrorism by these people. And so uh, we're not being Islamophobic in any way. In fact, we should never be called that in the same way we should never be called racist towards white people, right?
Yes.
Because uh, we're not the ones oppressing them for 500 years in the same way we're not the ones that have oppressed them for 1,000 years. We're the ones who've been oppressed by them for 1,000 years. So yeah. But yeah, all of these things don't get reported. It's often like the manipulation is done through the lie of omission, right? Which is why it's so
Mm,
important to
mm,
like dig deeper than your knee-jerk reaction.
yes. And when you are looking into stuff, y'all, rather if it is, a lot of things get omitted from history, and you get
Yeah,
that intuition and that feeling that something's not right and there's something that's missing. 9 times out of the 10, or almost 9.5 times out of the 10, yes, there is more to that piece of the story. Especially a lot of stories are written with those who have conquered and won in mind. So they're going to put the parts that make them shine more than other folks. So they're going to share the things that look good for them versus not giving you the whole full details that can also be looking good for somebody else because they want the main topic, talk, discussion, whatever it is to be centered around them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's my news for today.
Well, I appreciate that and appreciate you sharing it.
Hmm.
It's so getting into that again, I just dropped these topics for today because today is it's a. I'll be honest with you. Today it's a free for all. So I know we doing best life, but again, however everybody else is just feeling
Yeah,
about what they want to talk about and jump into, I don't mind doing it because again, it's the last episode, and I'm appreciative for everybody coming in and writing. But if you want to speak to the topic that we're on right now, you're more than welcome to.
So related, somewhat related, I also wanted to talk about this book that I've been rereading, Pendulum by Michael
Interesting.
Due. And he has a hypothesis or theory. Granted, this book is, of course, biased towards a lot of the data that they're getting is from white Western history, right? So again, like you said, take everything with a grain of salt, right? But it's interesting that he talks about, at least in the white Western society, that there's a pendulum swing every 40 years
Hmm.
between a focus on me versus we, right? And
Yes.
and then there's also like a 20-year downswing or upswing towards the other, right? In between the 40 years. So, and he says that so one of the reasons why we could swing into me is because eventually the we can become very bureaucratic, conformist, and self-righteous, right?
Mm,
And it goes into a downswing and an upswing into the me. And
yes.
then the me also
Still
can
yours?
eventually become very fake, right?
Yes.
Um, and so this is why, and also about 10 years before that, the fully into the new cycle, you will see what he calls alpha voices kind of predicting the new, era, right? So,
Yes.
for example, during the height of the me times, right, James Bond films were very popular, and then when
Mm,
there is a downswing, you start seeing films that make fun of it, like Austin Powers, right?
yes.
So, so that's
Peace.
interesting because now we're in 2023. Hello.
What's the
Hey,
word, Tyron? What's the word?
Yeah.
what's going on? What's happening?
Again, we chopping it up. This is the end all be all right here. So,
Okay.
also, Kunin is the one that brings a lot of wealth of knowledge. So, and has a myriad of so many different books. So right now, like I said, it's a free for all. Right now, it's we talking about the best life, but shoot, Kunin's best life could just be these books and everything else. So he just giving his points on about pendulum, and that's it right now.
So,
But you're more than welcome
yeah.
to jump in after Kunin's done too.
So I was
Okay.
talking about this book, The Pendulum Swing.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, so now we're in the we time, right? We're in 2023. We're
Yes.
kind of in the planet of we when, by the way, the last time this happened was 1943, right? And
1943. Okay.
1943, and about 4 years around that time was also when Hitler came into power. So that's important. And we
Mm.
are seeing like a repetition now with Trump saying he will be a dictator for one day, right?
Yeah.
And, and people dismissing that as just a joke and whatever, right? Uh, and note that Hitler was actually imprisoned before he became leader, like so, and he used his trial to actually do more propaganda, right?
Mm.
Uh, so we're seeing a repetition of that. Trump doesn't even attend the debates anymore. Does his rallies and he's using his indictments as propaganda, like even selling, pictures and NFTs of his mugshot and things like that.
Gotcha.
So, so now there's this page in the
Poetry.
book that talks about 2013 to 2033, and I wanted to read it because it's so like right on point about the times we live in. So he
Go
says,
go for it. Wait, before you do, Kunin, what's going on,
"Hello,
Shinobi? Peace and love, brother. What's the
So what's up?
word?
What's up? What's happening?
Shinobi Steve Austin over here. Goodness over here, man. But much love to you. I'm glad you popped up in here, and I didn't think you was gonna be that serious and actually put on the Stoke Steve Austin vest, but you did. So
Yeah.
of course you did. Poetry and some product. Thank you for following it. Much love. All right, go ahead, Kunin. What you got? Show us or let us
okay."
listen.
There's an excerpt from this book, Candela by Michael Drew. So he says here, on the outside, the zenith of a we, which is where we're at right now, 2023,
Yes.
we've been in this cycle for 20 years already. On the upside, the Zenith of the we offers some very specific marketing opportunities. Self-definition branding, if you will, is no longer determined by who you include and what you stand for. Instead, it becomes a function of exclusion, who you exclude and what you stand against. Here's the payoff. The easiest people in the world to manipulate are those who are focused on a single issue. Be forcefully against whatever they're against, and you can lead them around like a tame calf on a rope. You can't have insiders without outsiders. Yes, marketing becomes very easy as we approach the zenith of the we. Just choose what and who you will demonize, and then start tossing fear-soaked words as though they were long-necked beer bottles full of gasoline with fiery rags stuffed down their throats.
Oh
It's
wow.
Machiavellian, we know, but it's true nonetheless. We wish we could bring you happier news, but the simple truth is this: unless we begin working together to soften this coming trend of I'm okay, you're not okay, we're about to enter the ugliest 20 years of the pendulum's 80-year round trip. To counteract the coming trend, listen with your whole heart and try not to interrupt.
Mm.
Point number one. And then point number two, be capable of articulating calmly how the other side sees it.
Okay.
So, so yeah, that's talking about 2013 to 2033. So we're already in the middle of that 20-year prediction that they're talking about in this book.
Wow. Is that whole pendulum swing going off of 100 years? Is that what we're getting at? Like 80 years
Yes,
is the 80 years is like the me, and then the 20 years is the we?
no, it's 40 years, so
Okay.
every 40 years it swings from one to the other. So
Ah,
in the
okay.
book starts off with 1923 and then ends with 2023 actually, but then in the later on there's an interview excerpt where they go all the way to 2063.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
There it is, y'all.
So 140 years of history that is that
Yes.
is documented, also predicting, you know.
Wow. And that's a lot of it's just some food for thought, yo. For real. Just to really think about. Since I've never been here before, is this format prearranged or do you accept requests to read? So, I mean, I'm glad that you are here, poetry. But this is a whole different series where we have conversations, we build on different topics, and not necessarily has to be sharing or poetry or anything of that sort, but it's more so just a building of thoughts and collective perspectives on the predetermined topics that are for today's episode. But in this particular case, you actually caught the series finale, so this is like my end all be all last episode for this particular series. This is episode, if I sum them all up together, it's 101 episodes. So this is the 101 episode. So, I mean, I appreciate you still being here regardless. But if you ever wanted to check out the previous episodes, they are there. But yeah, this is the magnum opus. It's not the magnum opus, but yes, this is the final there. It's like, dang, my look, this is the last episode.
Yeah, it's the last episode. Yeah, it's like the final episode. I love climaxes. Yeah, you
Hilarious.
know.
He said,
Yeah,
don't
I
we
was gonna
all
tap in and get my my participation points for the night.
go for it? So we had there we was talking about this from the book the pendulum swing, but ultimately I want to hop back in between the topic that's there at hand. And if you were to describe it to yourself, how would you describe the best life? What would that entail for you in particular?
Well, nowadays I'm not too complicated anymore, so I would just, have to say a life full of peace, good health, good food, and good experiences, and preferably good people.
Mm,
I can't do drama and stress anymore. I don't handle that too well much nowadays. And it's like, once you realize that you've got it so good, you kind of make decisions, to keep those type of toxic things out of your life and just enjoy, what is what. Because there's a lot of people in other places who are a hell of a lot worse off.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And so what are some of those things again? I know we were talking about it previously on the last episode, but what are some of those things that bring you peace?
Well, chill music, since we addressed that during the last episode.
Yeah.
I started making instrumentals because, I needed something that didn't really necessarily have lyrics, that was just, so peaceful in making the music and the part of the process and just enjoying art.
Yeah.
I think is what you can say a fruit of life, being creative
Mm.
and, and putting your piece into their creativity and being able to share it with other people. So as much as people, are complaining about streaming right now, I still think it's a wonderful platform to share your art with, people across the borders that you really couldn't reach locally.
Yeah. It's always, and I was speaking with a brother of mine yesterday, and that was one of the points that came up. And I usually always like talking about this point. Like I know I spoke about it before on the show, but I look at this law in particular, the law of neutrality, and I look at how just about, if not all things in life are neutral until you put your intention behind it. So even if something like streaming may be, intended for like the top 1 to 10% to actually be getting money and funds from it, that doesn't necessarily mean that again you can still get some great intention out of it of like again connecting with people and actually sharing your art so that it is on a wide platform, even if you're not necessarily getting stuff paid. There's always what we can say a bright side to look at things, but that's just weighing
Mhm.
again the pros and cons of stuff. But again, at the end of the day, if it's helping you become a better version of yourself and it's not hurting or harming anybody else's peace or their boundary, I say go for it.
Yeah, and actually, I did get paid. It wasn't a whole lot, but I didn't get like any good numbers through like Spotify or Tidal,
Yeah.
but I did get some good numbers through the socials, throughout social media. So I did have one single that went
Mm,
56 million streams, and I got paid about $600 for it.
Nice.
And I did like zero advertising, and I didn't really put any effort beyond posting. So I think, with that being said, I just thought it was a nice Christmas gift, and I think the people, who came across it and decided to press play. And then there was a dude, it was like a really really old song that I don't even like anymore. You know
mm,
how it is, like when you first start out making beats, and like the first beat you put out really and all of that, but apparently
yeah.
people still liked it anyhow. And I was just like, bruh, 56 million streams, that's huge for, a very, very quiet, unknown artist. So I do appreciate the folks, who decided to press play. And I was happy with the little small payout. It was better than nothing, and it was very unexpected. It's like when you don't work towards something like that, and then a jewel just falls into your lap, you got to appreciate that.
Wow. Yes.
So I
Definitely
guess
big
you could
shout
say
out.
that was a gift that came along with, I guess you could say, sharing my piece.
Definitely
That's
big shout out on
beautiful.
that. Definitely big
Yes.
shout out on that because at the end of the day, all you gotta do is just plant the seed and it'll water itself and then they'll start networking around and it'll get around. So
Yep.
that's what's up.
Hey, bro, that was a bar. Thank you.
If y'all don't know, Shinobi do got some bars. He just trying to keep them hidden.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes. He's trying to
Yeah,
keep
go
them
ahead. It's your
hidden.
turn now. Take over, because that was some juice right there. Some
All
sauce.
right. Back to you now. To you, Shinobi. What would you describe as the best life for yourself?
Man, I don't know if I could make my own song of today was a good day, something like that. But, family, friends, music, simple gaming. Um, I know Christmas just passed. I know back in the day, you used to be like, oh, I really want this, this. Oh, I'll catch you later then. You'd
Yeah.
be like, I really want this, this, and this. And then you get a pair of socks. And you'd be like, damn, I don't want these damn pair of socks. I want some real shit. But then, later on, you appreciate those pairs of socks. It's a good investment. It keeps you warm and all that good shit. So that's what I'm at in my point in my life. The simple things in life that can just keep me going and just be like, damn, this ain't so bad. So, yeah.
I love that. Because that's to quote from, and this, I know it's funny, to quote from a Usher song from Confessions. Yes, you know where I'm going. If you know where it is, it's the simple things in life we forget. It really
Hmm.
is. And you hear her talking, but don't hear what she says. But I'm not gonna say the whole thing. But literally, sometimes it really is the simple stuff that grounds us, as well as brings about that balance and peace. And when you're inundated in a world and on a daily schedule of just running around, do so many different stuff, it's hard sometimes to, put that pause button to actually then be grateful for, again, practicing gratitude and just be like, yeah, shoot, I actually got gas in my car. Like, I actually got a place to go back to tonight. Like, I literally have gum in my pocket. Like, for some people, it just needed some stuff. Like, your breath thing, I don't know, got you some gum, got you some halls, got you something. Like, it may sound funny, it may sound goofy and ridiculous at times, but really reframing yourself, especially when you are rushing through a lot of stuff, is very helpful. That you do really look into those small things and really get into that. And I'm gonna take from y'all, especially I'm still talking about it, is eventually I'm gonna start doing some gardening myself, so then I could literally get some peace and space away from all this here. But
Hmm.
but I feel it. Thank you for sharing that, Shinobi. I appreciate that. It's
Yeah, I like the
impressive.
comment about the simple things too. Is another thing I really enjoy is coloring. You know, like with the adult coloring books with the really cool intricate pages and everything. I love that. So it is true about the simple things. And I don't play games a lot, but I feel your boy on that. When I do play, it be fun though.
I don't,
Man, yes.
I don't, I don't really stream like that. So that's like one day I was streaming Donkey Kong Country, and then I got to my favorite level, the aquatic, the water level, and the water level is called, well, the music is called Aquatic Ambient. Very
Mm.
peaceful,
Okay.
very mellow. And yeah, some people start coming in the stream like, oh shit, Donkey Kong Country. And then I'm like, all right, now I can start chatting with a little couple people still just progressing without worrying about, oh, am I doing good? Oh, I missed this shortcut. I could have did this better. It's just a vibe, just chilling and having fun with it.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
the cool thing about watching gamers because a lot of times, we just be there kicking it with y'all. We don't really
Yeah.
care how good you are at the game. If you're a cool person, we go show up and just
yeah,
hang out.
Yeah. Honestly, at first, there's a lot of people in my camp that didn't see the appeal of watching somebody play a video game when you can be doing it yourself. But now, once I got into a point where, of course, I got a bit older and I ain't got much time to really be playing games. Like, it's really dope to, like, yeah, just to really go in and be in that environment to just literally watch folks play different video games and just chill out with them and actually have them responding back to what you're saying and doing. So I second that, or third that, if it's already been said.
Yeah, all of y'all send me y'all Twitch links in my DM because I didn't know the two of y'all was
Uh,
streaming on Twitch.
oh yeah, I do.
Mm,
Yeah, send me that link so I can follow y'all. I'm gonna pull up. I ain't that
I
busy.
got you.
I'm not
I
that
got
busy. Cool.
nice. Who knows?
no,
All
you.
right.
Again,
Yes. Prada.
networking. Networking is a great thing. You know.
It is.
High five.
All right, Kunden, on to
what's
you. How
the
would you
best
describe, yeah, the best life for yourself?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about moving out of this country in about 3 years, possibly. Yeah.
Mm.
And it might be moving to India. I'm not sure exactly
Okay.
where.
Yeah.
India is a good contender because right now it's the world's fifth largest economy. Uh, it just went to burst outside of the moon, which is the first country to do so.
Yes.
And, and it's on track to become the world's third largest economy in about 5 years. And and while that's impressive, they're doing this, they're trying to make it happen out of necessity because even right now, like it's like $1 trillion economy, but if you divide trillion by 1 billion people, and that's not much per person. So they're trying to get there by necessity. Uh, so because there's
Where are you
so many.
now?
Huh?
Mm.
Where are you located now? If it's okay to ask.
I'm in California. Right. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, and this is not like a safe country for me anymore as a Hindu, especially in California. Because you know uh, the greatest legal attack on Hindus happened right here in California, and most people were just silent. And the Hindu-phobic bill that I've been fighting against, and it almost passed.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, the governor vetoed it, right? And even his veto, it seems to be more because it sounds like he wants to run for president, which is probably why, he actually vetoed it rather than because he actually cares for him.
A bill
So yeah,
about
that's
what?
why. What?
It was a bill about what? What was it about?
It was,
Ah,
you can look it up. It's called SB 403. It's a Hindu-phobic bill that targets against South Asians and Hindus, but especially Hindus. And it's a bill with no facial neutrality is the main issue, right? There's a Trojan horse bill similar to AB 957, which was another Trojan horse bill that almost passed that luckily the governor vetoed as well. So AB 957 is a good way to talk about SB 403 because it's very similar mindset behind it. So
mm,
AB 957 was proposed as a pro-trans bill, but in reality was an anti-trans bill, right?
Mm.
So it basically states that the parent who doesn't provide gender affirming care or doesn't acknowledge the gender of the child, their custody can be taken away by the state.
mm,
They don't provide gender affirming care,
yeah.
especially in a custody battle. So it sounds nice, right? But when you dig deeper, it is very first of all, it's a very racist law because often getting the cops and the costs involved when it comes to us racialized people has never been good for us.
Yeah.
So it will naturally be weaponized against us. Like that's very clear. But on top of that, taking trans people, I'm trans myself and I'm against it, and my trans friends are against it. So like taking trans people away from their parents and putting them in foster homes uh, isn't going to be good for them either. It's like they're gonna be sexually abused, like lots of problems are gonna happen, and they probably won't receive gender affirming care anyways. So
Mm,
that's an example of a Trojan horse law. So SB 403 is the same thing, where it is supposedly against caste discrimination, right? And first of all, there are already laws against caste discrimination. It's in the ancestry, right?
mm,
But and because of our protests, they kept amending the bill and providing more and more concessions. But even the final version was pretty harmful, right? But in the early version of the bill, like the very first version, they were blaming the caste system on everybody except those who actually created it, right? They were blaming the caste system on black people, brown people, Asian people, South Asians, right? They were saying that the caste system exists in Africa, South America, and Asia, conveniently ignoring why it exists,
mm,
right? It exists because the colonizers went around the world imposing the caste system on all of these people. The Spanish and the Portuguese had the casta system
yeah.
that they did in South America. There's a great book that talks about this called Caste is Not Hindu, right?
mm,
And then in India, it was worse because the British took the casta system of the Spanish and the Portuguese and decided to gaslight Hindus by deliberately mistranslating our text, kidnapping our children, educating them in their colonial school, brainwashing them into thinking that caste is actually Hindu. So
Mm,
that way it was easier for them to impose the caste system, create the caste system by saying, no, 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 it's not ours, it's yours. We're just helping you do it.
yeah.
That was what they did. And one of the ways they were able to mistranslate our taxes because they went house to house uh, to our Brahmins, to our teachers, and at gunpoint robbed them of our books, right? That's one of the ways they did. And another way that they created the caste system was to literally criminalize entire communities or jatis and thus make them untouchable, right? Another way they made them untouchable would be, and this is something the Portuguese as well did in Goa, where they would kidnap Hindus one by one. They would go with like a soldier or with two soldiers or a bodyguard. The missionaries would go, kidnap Hindus one by one, and rub their lips with beef and declare them untouchable among their people because beef is taboo for Hindus. So,
That it seems like I
but
have a whole lot to learn about the
unfortunately in
world.
California,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I've heard this. I've heard this a few
and the thing
times
is
from
in
Quinlan, but
California and
yes.
other U.S. schools, the caste system is still taught in California schools as literally an inherently uniquely Hindu thing when it's not at all a Hindu thing. It's a British, Spanish, Portuguese colonial system. And by the way, Muslims also have a caste system that's also
Yeah.
ignored in these US schools, right? In fact, Christians in India also have a caste system, which is why uh, one of the early leaders of the so-called Dalits, or what the British call the untouchable caste, uh, he had uh, he had his followers convert not to Christianity or Islam, but to Buddhism, right? As a way of being free from the caste system,
Hmm.
right? And because he thought he was also brainwashed into thinking that, like caste is a Hindu thing, right? Uh, but even he knew that it was better to convert to Buddhism than Christianity or Islam because they also have a caste system. So, anyways, and by the way, this is not only an ironically, it's not only an anti-Hindu law, it's an anti-Dalit law, even though they claim to protect Dalits, right?
Mm.
Uh, and in fact, this is why the number one, like the Dalit Bahujan Network, which is like the Dalit organization operating in the US, they fought against SB 403. They themselves did it. And they were accused of being right wing, right? Which is like hilarious, like so ridiculous. And and in fact, they in their writings they say that the groups behind it, the hate groups that created this law or this bill, were not only anti-Hindu, they were also anti-Dalit because one of the things that they tried to do in California was to remove Dalit sages and teachers from the California curriculum.
Hmm.
And it's like,
Right, California always on some kind of shit.
Oh,
If it ain't one thing,
yeah,
it's something
I'm
else.
just letting you know. That's why there's so many people from California that has been leaving. I have so many friends who's either moved to Texas,
Yeah,
they went up somewhere in Nevada, someplace in Nevada, I don't know where, Arizona. Some folks want to see more um people of their own color, so then they move into specific areas in the US. But yeah, everybody been saying adios to Cali.
yeah, everybody
And
Yeah,
have been
bro.
dipping.
rightfully
California
so.
is Yeah, California is like filled with poverty and homelessness. Don't let Hollywood fool you into thinking it's some type of, oasis because it's not. I had to go there once every 6 weeks. I had to fly out to San Diego for a tech program that I was in last year. And every
Mm-hmm.
time that I will fly down to San Diego, it's like one part that's really, really nice. And the rest of it is like, ugh, bro. And I'm just like, ugh, there's even places of New Orleans that's nicer than that shit. And I'm just like, y'all, California better get it together. I was like, what y'all overcharging these people for to be in the ghetto?
yeah,
For my folks who are close by USC. USC is like, it's literally one part is like, oh, it's all nice, got these new complexes and buildings and communities and stuff here, but then on
yeah,
the other half you got Figueroa. And for my folks who know Figueroa, you know,
I don't know what
yeah,
that is, but it sounds
ridiculous.
funny.
So Figueroa for okay, some people call it Figueroa, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting, characters you can find down that particular street if you go far enough. But yeah.
yeah. I mean, they've
That's
been trying to pass a bill that said uh, business owners can be arrested for stopping
Yes,
shoplifters.
that too was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous too.
what?
And I don't know what
Cali
happened to that
is.
bill.
Yes,
Wait,
you heard that
stop somebody
correctly.
from stealing? You can get into
Yes.
trouble?
Yes,
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 you can get
exactly.
fined. You can get
Wow.
fined upwards. I don't want to say a ridiculous number, but I want to say you almost get fined from upwards of like 1,000 to almost 20,000, depending.
Something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's crazy. Let
they.
somebody try that with the Arab owners here in this city. Boy, they go get their ass all kinds of work.
They just supposed to
But
like
yeah,
cheer them
but
We
on
to
while
all
you
my
know
but to
post.
my
the
Cali
terms
folks,
is. The
to
fucking
my
Arabs
Cali
don't play
folks,
around
yes,
here, boy.
there are some beautiful places in Cali. Yes, we're not saying that it's not. It's just don't let the facade fool you. Shouts
And
out to
so,
Back to the Lab. Peace and love. What's the word? But yeah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna fly out here. But yeah, that's just how it is. You try stealing from them people, they go loud cap you in the process, and good luck trying to make it to the front door,
Mm-mm.
bruh.
which state are you on?
Huh?
Which
So where
state
you
are
at?
you both in?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay.
Of course,
Yeah.
Cali's bigger than LA, but everybody, every time they think of California, the first place they think of is LA. I understand y'all. They ain't giving Northern Cali no love. I know that. Either that is either LA or San Diego. Um,
Listen,
Compton. I'm sorry.
yeah, Compton, true. Yeah, I mean, look, all the places that people is thinking
listen,
like,
Madam
oh, there's a lot of
Calculator.
other
Grand Theft
crazy
Auto.
things going
Grand
on,
Theft Auto. Compton. I'm
Okay,
bruh.
let's
sorry.
I mean,
all have
Yeah, California
yes,
and all that. People just try to hype it up for more than what it is. I mean, we do have a crime problem here in our city, but aesthetics wise, I think that our city
yeah,
is like looking better than California. And then we have the New Orleans lakefront that looks just like California. You know, we have the coast too and a nice little walkway and everything. And I'm just like, when I was out there, I was just like, oh my God, I was like, my city look better than this shit now. And they're so like, hyped up and so much more popular. And I said, the only thing you guys are out here is just like, really expensive,
yeah,
really expensive. Because when I was living in Las Vegas,
yeah.
I was there for 10 years and I seen like a slew of people moving to the valley from both California and Hawaii because the real estate was so expensive
oh
and they
yeah,
sold their little shack of a house for $1 million, and they came to the valley and bought one home to live in, had two investment properties. So it's like when they came out to live with us in the valley, they were all doing good. Now in the process, they did drive up the housing prices, but they were much more happier living with us than compared to
mm-hmm.
where they came from. The same thing for the people in California, Las Vegas was like being looked at as the new Cali because we had so many
Yeah,
people from California here.
yeah,
Yeah. And now it's like that in Texas because the land was very affordable, so people did the same thing. They went out to Texas and drove up the property, and they're doing well now. But yeah, you just have a lot of people that are just making common sense, dollars and cents move, especially for people who are remote workers that work from
yes,
home. Yeah, it's
yes.
like, you can just basically take that salary, move from where you are, and go to just a different region, and your home can be, or even your apartment can be 2 times the size of what it is that you're living in California. And personally, I would just make it make sense. I'm like, yo, look, I'm out of here too.
Yeah,
And then you got all these crazy laws and all of this stuff to still, to deal with. I'm just like, look, I'm one of these type of people. I'll be out there. Let me catch you trying to take something from me. You go catch one.
I
And
hear
when they
you.
come with their fines and their little books and everything, they're gonna have to try to catch me because I'm just like, look, you ain't gonna pull up in my place of business and just do whatever the hell you want to or take whatever you want. You go learn something different today.
Mm-mm, not at
There's
all.
nothing right about that. Try to protect the criminals more than the hardworking people. I ain't gonna fly. It's not gonna fly with me.
I mean, but you gonna fly to get those folks can fly and get themselves up out of there for sure. Yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
but we
Mhm.
got look, we got a love for Cali. We got some of our Cali folks here saying, man, y'all need to go to these places in Cali, man. Stop sleeping on Cali. But yeah, we got our folks that's all up in here
That's
that's
the
just
pleasure.
saying
Yeah.
some of y'all is tripping. But
You,
I want to talk
you
about the
remember
point
that?
that you did end up saying. But hold on, real quick, Kunde. I do want to talk about the point that you did bring up, though, Tyra, about the remote work. And
Oh
this
yeah.
is where, because of what happened with not only just COVID, but the real understanding. Shouts out to my brother Chris Millette Music in here. What's the word, my G? Yes is the last one. Um, it's brought up a very interesting point that a lot of jobs can be done remotely from home. And because that's the fact, not only because there's people who are quote unquote bitter from the culture of relationships and things of that sorts, but there are a lot of people like Putin was thinking right now, in a couple of years, they save up enough money, they might just end up moving to a whole different country, in fact, and just moving out of the United States because of the fact that not only you think it's a third world country, you're not thinking that it's a lot of the technology, the living spaces is not up to par, but you come and find out there's a lot of beautiful places outside of the U.S. that literally to live there on a monthly basis, paying for food and stuff, is 3 times less than what you would be paying somewhere in the US. And you got a space that's a bit bigger. And you can be, again, somewhere far out of the country, still doing your job, getting US pay and using that to pay for where you are locally. So for my folks who these international travelers doing your remote work and it makes sense for you, man, shouts out to y'all for
Yeah,
real.
those regions, you can live tax free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are even countries and cities like Lithuania, Estonia, and also I think a city in Italy and Greece that are actually
Paying people. Yep.
paying you to move there, you know.
Yes.
So that's also why I'm thinking of moving, in about 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I learned about that from reading a couple of articles online about senior citizens. There was like a slew of senior citizens that were moving to Fiji because it was
Mm.
easy for them to live comfortably off of their retirement. And a lot of pensions don't pay people
Yeah.
enough to like, yeah, it's not really like they're taking home a full-time income off of that pension. It's more of like, of a part-time check. So what they did was is they relocated to Fiji, and a couple of neighboring islands, and they spoke about how like the dollar was almost like 10 to 1, and it would just even, it was just easy for them to live off of their pension and they didn't have to do anything else.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Like my uncle just got a huge settlement because his wife got into a car accident in August, and he wanted to put it in a savings, not like an annuity account and a CD, and live on interest, right? And he realized he still can't do it yet. Like he would have to
Mm.
wait at least 3 years, right?
Yes.
Given his financial situation, even though his financial situation is actually pretty good, he already has like 50,000 in simple IRA savings, right? Uh, and then the settlement is in the it's almost 1 million. It's like a six figures, right? And it's still not enough. Like it's like so.
Mm.
Yeah, settlement is like 500,000. So it's like he realized suddenly that a friend of his told him like a few years ago that in order to just live on interest and retire in the United
Hmm.
States, you need at least $3 million. And he was saying how at the time he was like in his mind he was, oh, this guy is so arrogant. But now he realizes, oh, actually it's kind of probably true.
For
Yeah.
sure. The more you
Yeah,
start,
what's up, buddy?
yeah, look, all up in the building. Shouts out to everybody that's all up in here. I mean, I personally don't celebrate, but I see happy holidays. I mean, happy days to all y'all. Hopefully, you are
Yeah.
finding the best out of life. And if you're not, I am sending those well wishes for you to find the best out of life, wherever and however that looks for y'all. But thank y'all for being here again. This being the final episode is much love. I'm glad people are popping in. I got some of my other folks that's in here chilling too. FaZe, let me know when you also want to pop on, because again, I know we're going to be going for a while, and I don't know if anybody's getting busy or anything, but y'all are more than welcome to be asking the request to jump on, because again, this the final roll call, so pop in when you need to.
Yeah, I like that
But
comment Butter was talking about, saying the same opportunities to live comfortably was also available in Ghana
Ghana,
too.
yes,
And
Hmm.
yes, there's
I didn't know that. I
yes.
had no clue. I don't know much about opportunities or living opportunities for Americans in Africa. That's something I need to get a little bit more educated on.
I know that there's two different channels on YouTube that have done some similar work around getting that information for people. One of them is called, I think is the African Diaspora Network. That one's by Phil, forgot his last name, but he's done a lot of stuff in news about that and had folks trying to rally to put together trips and how much money you need, etc. Like what's there needed. You need to get this done. So that's one spot that I know that have that is the African Diaspora Network. And then another brother that I followed for a good while. He used to live in New York, and when
Mhm.
he moved himself out to Ghana, him and his
Okay.
wife, so shouts out to Lance Scurv. Lance Scurv also did his thing, and now he lives out in Ghana. They were having their house built from the bottom up, and it was again so much more cheaper than
Yeah.
them still being out in New York and doing all of that. And again, the quality of life is a lot different when you move, especially places where, honestly, the food is a lot more natural. So like
Yeah.
it's the food. Sometimes, of course, the environment, you'll be surprised of, the people. But yeah, those opportunities are out there, because at this point, I have a number of people I see on my timeline. One brother, he's out somewhere in Southern or in South America, he's just living his best life. Like this dude looks extremely healthy, fit, has
Hmm.
a place that's literally right by some waters deep in like just a jungle type area.
That's
And
what I'm
this
saying.
dude is doing his thing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he has his own remote, work and all the other stuff that he's done, because he has a lot of skills, especially behind the camera. Shouts out to Farron Kid, but he has a lot of skills. But he's out there just
Yeah,
living it up.
that's something I think, as people of color, we need to start learning about and educating one another on, because it's like the bullshit that I'm still seeing here in the USA is ridiculous. And I think we should start looking for other places to be other than here.
Yeah,
Because it's like, why keep trying to be a part of a society that keep trying to kill you or hold back opportunities? A
yeah.
lot of, a lot of us, we're just, looking for work, and we can't even get hired because people don't like what the talent look like when we pull up. You know what I'm saying?
They want
Hey,
you. They want you to work. They want you to look for work and putting in the work to look for the work. So then ultimately you don't find anything to work. So then they're gonna make you work in other ways.
hey, if I can be a crab in a
Craziness.
different bucket, if I can be a crab in a different bucket, I'll definitely take that.
Yeah,
Room me.
I'm just like, and if our money is stretching so far in these other places, maybe we should start following the lead to, like you said, obtain a better quality of life and also get treated better, being people of color. You know how many folks that have made testimonials about, moving out to places like Dubai, and they
Yeah,
speak about how, people don't steal there, and they talk about the culture, and they also talk about how much better they're being treated in that country, being surrounded by other brown people.
yeah.
Dubai is well, Dubai is debatable because I've
Yes,
also read
yeah, that's
stories
true.
about how slavery is actually legal, like because practically legal because they have in Dubai is so rich because it's exploiting so many poor people and basically tricking them and trapping them into indentured servitude, like
Servitude.
and
Yeah,
they often
every place has its ups and
India,
downs,
yeah.
every place.
And then there's also the most disgusting thing I ever watched was just Google like Dubai porta potty
Don't,
and and
What?
it's like
don't.
the most
You
disgusting thing ever. Like
Wait, what?
I,
What?
you're gonna get a virus. Don't do that. I haven't, but Artie can tell because I'm gonna tell you this. All if y'all watch YouTube and you guys are seeing the emergence of, you know, these girls that get flown out in different places. Dubai is one of those big places, and that's usually what goes down when they go out there. So
Well,
I don't think you want to. Yeah,
yeah,
don't
girls
don't scar
are offered
yourself.
like $20,000, $30,000 and to fly down to Dubai and they think you know, they think it's just sex or whatever, but it's a lot worse like that they're being asked to do.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
On What's the Word Wednesdays, we do not condone any of that stuff. Get it out of here. But yeah, just
Yeah,
letting you all know, just to be informed. Yeah. Um, if
yeah.
you have
Yeah, but
somebody
I would.
in your DMs trying to talk about come to Dubai for a certain amount of money, I would suggest that you just block them. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would
Um,
like to learn more about these, these African countries and even some of the islands too. Not necessarily the ones that get hurricanes every single year, but
mhm.
just like you said, other places of where, since we're talking about quality of life, or where we can just live a better
Yes.
quality of life. Because I'm just like, hey, why not have my $1,000 function as if it's 10?
Mm,
I'm cool with that, and it's tax free. Let's go. Why do you
And
think
also in Dubai,
a
nobody
lot of this?
steals because they cut off their hands if they steal. Like that's what I heard tell. So that's why nobody steals that.
see,
I'm cool with
because
that.
there is
Don't take what's not
consequences.
yours.
There is much more consequences. I'm not saying that we don't have them out here, but bruh,
Yeah,
it's if
I
you
mean
have
that's
laws in Cali, like we were talking about, you got laws where people can just openly go and steal, and if you want to stop them as the owner or as a not even say a customer, even customer or anybody trying to do your civil duty, you are gonna get civilly sued out the yin yang. So that's ridiculous.
We at the extreme, right? Like,
that's
Yes,
crazy.
as well as
yeah,
the Good Samaritan laws too can also be put into question. There's been a few instances where folks have saved people and they've taken them to court. So then that makes people feel like, you know what? If I see something else go down, I'm gonna let you get punched.
I have
I'm gonna let
seen
you just bleed out
I have
because
seen a couple of people try to unlive themselves and then they sue the person for stopping them. I'm like, that's wild. Like,
That's
why would
crazy, crazy. I would never make it in California, man. I would be in jail, jail.
uh, For the most part, in certain areas, it can be chill. It's just the overall culture, especially when you get closer, deeper into Hollywood, and it creeps out into just certain pockets that it's like that. Like folks is either crazy, just to put it plain, is either crazy, they done lost it, they have really no sense of like true direction. Everything is all about not just me, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it big. So I'm gonna step on all the people that I need to make it big, because when you come to California, specifically you come to LA, that's what it is. You want to network with all the big stars and become a part of Hollywood and in that scene in particular. So a lot of your morals and values get tested.
Mm.
And if you come around morally bankrupt people, you can tell it very easily. It's not only through the eyes, but it's just through the behaviors. And that's the great thing about that, is that since that's not really in my sphere like that, I rarely attract those type of people.
Yeah.
So it says, as long as you're mindful and aware of the culture, we can be good almost anywhere. Yeah, there's spots and places where folks tell me like I shouldn't be going this way or going that way. Things might happen to you, this,
Mhm.
that, and the third. And I've been in some of those spots. Nothing's happened to me, and it's partly because of the fact of it is the like mindset, and just again, my
Mhm.
intention is I'm not there to harm, and you'd be surprised people will pick that up. And I will say this though, dude, if you're a camera person, that's your safety card right there. Anywhere you be going, you're like, oh wait, this is a camera dude. Like, all right, for sure. I've been to a number of places where it seemed super sketchy, but I had a camera, so then everybody was just like, man, like that's the camera dude. Like, don't even bother him. Like, he
And you know,
cool.
honestly, coming from a law enforcement background, criminals usually pick their targets, and they can
Mm-hmm.
usually tell who it is that they can fool with and who it is that they're not. Because some of us, some people carry that energy, like, you come over here, I'm gonna knock your ass out.
Yeah.
And other people are just kind of skittish, and those are ones that they're going to target. So, a lot of these folks that get hurt are usually targeted because they're being viewed or perceived as being weak.
Mm.
So
Good
criminals
point.
they can always tell, who's scrappy and who's not.
Yeah. Good point. It's your energy. It's your vibe. It's all of that. Again.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I carry one with me everywhere. I ain't trying to say that word on your stream, but
I'm
you
again
know.
loud and clear. We know the word. We know the word. We got you. Facts. And I'm from Brooklyn, so you already know. Psh.
I'm a little
Again,
woman. I'm barely 5'1". I ain't about no fist fight. I be on here talking smack, but at the end of the day, I ain't about to fight you.
you got that 5-1 with you. I got you.
You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that 5-1. Got people calling 911 for
Mm.
But yeah, I'm a peaceful person. I get along well with folks. I don't ever have problems ever.
and
Going back
again, it's a
to
testament to
my
your
best
character.
life, thing,
I'm a peaceful
then
person.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
friendly.
ahead. Go ahead, Kundan.
and I didn't finish talking about that. So my best life would be, I think, I would imagine living in India, or even where I'm from originally, Burma, possibly, maybe in the border between Burma and India,
Mm.
um, or in India itself, and just like live out on the farm, grow my own food, try to reconnect to like decolonize myself and reconnect to, because I'm Hindu and Buddhist and Sikh,
Mm.
and actually
Okay.
indigenous to the land, and so I'm actually indigenous Hindu, Buddhist, and Sikh, and so I've been studying like Hindu economics lately beyond, because I don't believe in capitalism nor Marxism,
Yes.
and our indigenous Hindu roots neither, like we're beyond both. So I've been trying to like, so that's one of the things I've been doing lately. I'm trying to look up books written by our own political teachers like Chanakya, right? And Chanakya is, even though he lived like thousands of years before Machiavelli, some people will misconstrue him and say, "Oh, he's India's Machiavelli." No, he isn't. He's his own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where because he wasn't manipulative in his teachings, right? So I want to like go back to like living according to, what our ancient teachers said, but actually being connected to the land and growing my own food and actually having not monoculture, but almost like a cycle culture where different crops are grown
Mm,
symbiotically with each other, things like that. Trying to learn all that and actually, yeah, actually having, fellow friends who are like-minded, like that, trying to also decolonize and reconnect to the indigenous roots, and yeah, living a peaceful life, simple, uh, and at the same time, like, depending on where I end up, I still might want to have that goal of at least $3 million in savings, assets, and investments. Now that I know the reality, right?
yeah.
Now that I know that, like, oh, it's actually not an arrogant goal, it's actually a practical goal. Like, in just in case I end up living in the States anyways, in the United States anyways, for the next 5 years, then I would need
Yeah,
that.
it's
I'm
understandable.
very clear.
I mean,
Like,
if you invest enough into a couple of Vanguard accounts with the compounding interest,
yeah,
you'll be okay over that. Well, if you have a goal of saving for 20 years, which is, the time span of retirement, if you do that yourself, independently of an employer,
yeah,
which is probably a
Yeah.
safer way, just put your money into VTI or VOO, and as much as possible when you're young, and over time you'll definitely receive your It's always a guaranteed 10% increase on your money in the stock market every year, plus the compounding interest. That's been consistent of the stock market over the past 100 years. So if you want to do something safe and very, very equitable with your money, that's the way to go.
Mm,
yeah,
I say do that yourself because I don't trust these employers. A lot of times when employers go bankrupt, so do you.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because we've all
exactly,
seen
yeah.
those scenarios online with people going crazy because they lost their pension after being a part of a company for 30 years and they've worked all that time and they don't have their retirement anymore. So that's
Yeah,
one thing I recommend folks do. You don't have to be educated about the stock market. Just open up an account, put your money into either VTI or VOO. They both do the same thing, and you'll be okay. And instead of your money being locked up, like, if you're young, and if you do that, instead of your money being locked up until the age of, what is it, 64, 65,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have access to your money after 20 years. So if you do that at like 20 and you hit 40, then you can make a decision to start paying yourself an annuity over 20 years, or you can just still keep adding money to it. You won't be necessarily restricted to any type of governmental rules
Yeah.
in reference to that, but you still may have to pay taxes.
I thought some
what's
of it was
PTO?
tax free.
That's like what do you call it? Pre-tax dollars when the money's coming straight from your paycheck into the account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Some finance lessons for y'all. If you didn't
Well,
know,
don't
now
quote
you
me on
know.
everything. You have the Google and Chat GPT to get the actual 100% correct information about that.
But Chat GPT right now is being sued for um, copyright infringement. So Chat GPT gonna send you to copyright infringement jail with what you trying to look up. I'm just playing.
Oh my God. Okay, well maybe you guys can give Google Gemini a try. I hear that's the new version of Chat GPT.
Oh yeah.
Gemini. Why Gemini?
Why not?
I don't know. I heard about it from Earn Your Leisure. I think Google was trying to create some competition to go against Chat GPT, and it's called Gemini. I haven't used it myself, but I just recently learned about it. But yeah, just Google everything because I'm not an expert. I don't have a what do you
My.
call it, a license 66.
Oh yeah, y'all are good. You are good.
Yeah,
You just sharing what you know. And again, not to quote her, you just again share what you know.
yeah.
Ah, but yeah. Uh, Thank y'all all for sharing that about shoot your best lives. Um, before I start saying some more stuff and then probably jump to the next topic. Did anyone else want to share any thought that popped to their mind? Because then I also want to drop Crisss in here as well too, because I see she's up here now.
No, I'm gonna hold my thoughts because I know you have a show to get to.
Oh, we just having fun. Look. This is again. That's why the brother has on the Stone Cold Steve Austin vest because he heard free for all, and then him and my other brother is in the comments talking about some WWE type stuff. So again, I'm all for the flow of what's going to be going on for today because this is it. Like Michael
Okay,
Jackson
so
said, this is it.
I'll go ahead and tap out and let Chris in because I think I kind of talked a whole lot today,
Checking
and I
out.
don't want to hog the screen time. So let me go ahead and log out, or you can like cancel my screen out and let her in.
Yeah, for sure. I got you.
I'll be in the chat.
Let me just
Yes, sir.
get that ad later. Oh, there we go. Got that ad in. Okay.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, shit, I got the wings. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Wing.
Yo,
Oh,
what's the word? What's going on, Chris?
And
I like the shirt. The shirt looks real nice.
Yes.
Represent.
I'm glad that you got it. Don't worry, Kundin. Yours is coming. I got you. It's gonna be there. I know it's not the wear for this last episode, but again, this is just for y'all. I appreciate the alumni for rocking throughout this whole series. So that's the least I can do.
I got
You would. Oh my goodness, you would.
it's the last show.
Ever since I had messed up and said, "What's the word? Wings Day." You literally still talk about having wings on a Wednesday. That's what happens when you're getting used to streaming for a long period of time, way back when, and then your brain starts to fart a
That's
lot.
that's pretty catchy though.
That was
What's the
the
word? The Wings Day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's catchy.
staple of
Yeah,
the
what's
show.
talking about?
It's a
You
staple.
know, over there with your lemon peppers. You know, talking. You know.
That is
What's
hilarious.
the word?
Ah,
Is what are we talking about?
your best life. Tell us.
Best day
What would you describe is your best life?
of awareness. Recap of the series. Okay,
You would read the whole thing,
I'm blind.
From the best life segment.
right?
Best life in quotations. That's every day. That's every day.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Now explain.
Explain. I could show you better than I can explain.
We can't do an everyday thing,
You
but
see
I
the
hear you.
smile? No, okay. The smile was the demonstration.
I'm not gonna lie. On my side right now, they got you looking like on Minecraft right now.
I look like Minecraft.
It was a
It's
little blotchy.
a little
Gotcha.
pixelated. I know that's not a
Yes,
real word, but
it is.
yeah.
Pixelated
Yeah.
is a real word.
I never heard pixelated being a real word. I'm just gonna put that out there. Never.
Oh, it
No.
is.
You got it though. It is. Go look it up in the dictionary. Go to
Uh,
Webster's.
here we go.
Merriam and Webster,
Oh my
both
goodness.
of them. Sorry, I'm in a pretty good mood. My birthday's in 5 days, so
Yeah.
Hey.
life.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Happy early birthday.
Exactly.
You. It's the theme is 13 going on 31.
Oh, we doing the
Oh,
inverse, the flip. I got you.
you're gonna turn 13. I mean 31.
The way Kunden said it, it almost reminded me of that meme. It's like, is it 31, 21?
Oh God. 41.
Right?
But then 21? You stupid. Like, nah, don't do that. Said birthday snap. Yes.
No, not a fly. Okay. But yeah, no, living your best life. I mean, what are we elaborating on? Like the steps to take to get there, but the mindset.
It was
Yeah.
just a candid question of how would you describe your best life? How would you describe it?
Luxurious.
Mm,
Yeah.
how so?
Comfy. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, those are about, yeah, that's like that. Nice, just being in a space that just feels nice and feels good. Doing
Mm,
activities or routines or rituals that give some kind of comfort, to ease from, the ebbs and flows of day to day life. I think that's all it takes for my best life, personal, over here.
mm.
I like the little things.
There it is again. Damn.
The
There it
funny
is.
thing is, I was going to bring it up already from hearing everybody what they were saying, and that's literally the summative of really someone's best life. It's the small
Yep,
things that count.
they add up.
You ain't even got to worry about the math because they already did it for you.
Right.
You know, Chat GPT. I'm sorry, no.
No,
Oh
I
wow.
love ChatGPT. It's baby.
Well, we already made fun of Chat GPT because they're getting sued. So
Oh,
copyright infringement.
dude. Was that a part
Everybody's
of
trying,
the current
everybody's trying to
event?
write their
Yes.
report paper off of.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get you plagiarism for sure. Yeah, write me a 10-page paper about Marcus Aurelius and the conqueror of da. Yeah, you gonna Chat GPT gonna get you straight
Man, but
zero.
if we would have had that back in high school, oh my God, they wouldn't have so fast. It
Don't
would
even remind me
it would
because
have
I
been.
remember when the Pope was getting reinstated freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
we was in there watching it for history, and then he had us do an 11-page
Mr.
paper.
Chavez,
Oh man.
you
Chavez
Chavez for
11-page paper about this momentous moment.
oh, but you were against his because we didn't have that.
Yeah, 11-page paper. So
Sorry, my
from folks, he's like, sorry, man.
sorry, my
Hey,
daughter's having a Rugrats moment. Running around with no diaper. I'm like, what in the world? Just out here. That's her best
living her
life right
best
now.
life.
That's
Exactly,
right. Yeah.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
there. Yes.
Oh man,
Yeah.
but see, it's the same poignant point of like just things that are just simple. Also, a lot of what y'all are saying too about just natural activities and stuff, and connecting back to nature in some way, shape, or form. Shouts out to my boy, my brother from another that always keeps being extra. My boy John in the building. What's going on? It
Yeah.
if I could, I would be very much so similar with a lot of y'all sentiments of what y'all said. When I really think about it, it just does go back to, for me, luckily for me, my childhood.
Mhm.
And a lot of stuff that I got to do during my childhood would be something I would look forward to and incorporating into my best life. A lot of it was stress-free stuff. I didn't necessarily have to worry about. So we talking about, finances and, being able to have that type of backing to, create a life and actually get back more of your time. As a kid, I felt I had all the time in the world to do whatever I wanted whenever I could. Of course, I had to get back home before the lights came on, or mom's just yelling down the street. You can hear her, all that stuff. But going to see friends, we were actually, for me, my childhood, a lot of us was outdoors so much. It don't matter if I was at a friend's house. It don't matter if we was playing in the middle of the street. We would pull up a basketball court. We would come up with different funny and random games. There's one game I remember that now, honestly, today it is dangerous to be playing, and I don't know why we were doing it. But there's literally, I think I spoke about, I know I spoke about it before on the show, but it's just I wanted to bring it back up because this is hilarious. We played a game where basically it's like tag, but everyone has a bike besides the person that is it, and the person that is it, and the person that is it has a ball. Sometimes we had a basketball, we had different type of balls, and we would throw it at the bikes if you were riding it. So you can already tell a disaster can be happening with that type of game that we were playing. And yes,
Oh,
someone did almost scorpion off of the bike from the ball being thrown at the wheel. Yes, it almost happened.
oh my
But
goodness.
again,
You got
kids
your
was
friend
just
got
being kids.
your
But it
friend
was
got
fun
straight
to
joke.
us.
Your friend got straight Joker stories on that one. You wanna know how I got these scars? I had a bike. Had this bike. See?
Ah, yo, that is hilarious. Y'all better get inside when the street lights come on. Yes, yes. But a lot of the stuff that I got to experience, especially time wise and being able just to explore, will be what I would add into my best life.
Hmm.
I definitely want to do the same thing with what Gunan was talking about, since I was already talking about gardening, but definitely would want to have my own farm,
Oh,
like actually just growing my own
I was
food,
just
like really wanting to do that.
that.
Because GMO is not it, y'all. Me and GMO,
Yeah,
me and
exactly.
me and GMO don't mix, especially a lot more so now, because just about everything got
Mm,
something in it. And I know I'm getting my grandma, my mom, and like other family members mad because I don't be eating a lot of stuff now, because I can be seen as extremely picky. But it's just like every time I pick something up, I even saw on a YouTube, on a reel or a short, there is somebody talking about, if y'all look at Kirkland products, or
mm,
best value products, some of the foods that are made, for example, like the marshmallows, literally, if you look on the back, some of the ingredients says it may contain like tilapia and fish in marshmallows.
Yeah,
yeah.
What the?
that's like what.
So,
What?
Pork.
That's like you said. What, Oreos got
Yeah.
pork in it or something like that too? Yeah, yeah,
but it's supposed to be vegan.
yeah. Speaking of the word vegan, let me stop. I ain't going there. I ain't going there yet. I'm not going there. No, not yet. Not yet. Not going there.
You
Yeah.
ain't ready. He ain't ready for that just yet.
I heard
Nah.
about the apples at Costco, and a lot of the apples out there are coming from Bill Gates, like his
Yes,
culture endeavor, and uh, stuff.
yes,
That was the most I heard. But
They're like coming in and out, Chris.
yeah. Whose
are
background is that? I think that might be you, Chris.
me, I,
It sounds like you. That's what we hearing. You over here DJing with your voice right now.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we can't hear you
Yeah.
properly.
No, what's with this phone?
Dang it, no. But
No,
mm,
that's a good one.
but yeah, I yeah, I'm not with it. But yeah, part of my best life would be eating right for sure. Having a definitely healthy diet of balanced, natural, and good foods that are what, 5 ingredients or less. Shots up How
Yeah,
to Cure
definitely.
Disease. Yes, you already know, Kunden. Yes, I'm talking about that book, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
that's the
back.
book I was telling you. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I read a good amount of it, and I still have it. I like to do both Audible as well as I like to
Oh,
read it. So I have it both ways. But shots out. I see you up in here. Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. Your man. Peace and love. I thank you for the follow. And who we got in here? Oh, we got
We
notes.
got
My
notes.
boy was taking notes before he was coming. He had to make sure he had the last bit of his equation ready for the blue steel look and everything. Shouts out to my boy Young Zoolander in the building. I see you, my man. Hopefully you living your best life right now wherever you at. But but yeah, the other thing would, for me too, for living my best life, it would also still involve a community of people. So like, if we dare having to like create, like, there's folks who's actually been buying land and creating small communities of people to, not saying not like live an Amish type of way, but in some instances like strip yourself
a
from
commune.
a lot of this stuff. But yeah, and bring about that calm. I would definitely want to live somewhere that's close by a spring, like a not a lake, but like spring water, like natural spring water.
Maine.
Again, I don't, like I said, I don't know yet, Chris, but I
I'm throwing
appreciate you.
options out.
It's just like I got the answer for
I
everything. Just
do.
say it, okay? Oh yeah, you know, go to
basically
Uncle
like an
Jack's
eco
and you
village
good,
or a commune, right?
I
huh?
mean,
It's really like a commune or an eco village,
yeah.
right? Eco village kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Because at the end of the day, as much as,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I can also, and this is funny, I've told a number of people this. I could also, if my life didn't go as where I am right now, I also could see myself being a monk of some sort, just off up in the highs of mountains, just doing meditation and stuff like that. I can see myself doing that, but I know the importance of community and just again us as beings and humans of creating those connections with each other. I know it's more important than just me. It's we.
Mm-hmm.
So that would we would be incorporated in at least my outlook of what a best life is. And then of course music and to this day still of course the kids. Love the kids.
You gotta get your
Yeah.
Indian food, my boy.
Do you
Gotta get your Indian.
like, do you want children? Any of you?
No.
No.
Kundin,
No.
I'm gonna
I'm a
say this.
maybe. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say this. My answer is absolutely yes, no. And like, what does that mean? In my mind, I love to have kids. I would love to have a numerous amount of kids. But the reality of this life and how we live in and how my bank account for my checking and savings is set up and being able to find a viable partner, or even say partner, but again, a person that we can build together with is making that an extreme no. Because I would have to really prepare. Because as much as I would love to then just like bring someone into this world, I just don't want to set them. I don't want to set them up for failure. And I know you're never fully prepared when you have kids, but there's definitely steps that you can take to at least have some type of foundation set beforehand. So my mind is like, of course I would. From what I've seen, I do very well with kids, and it's been shown throughout my lifespan right now that for some reason I have that. I guess it's because I've learned to unlock that inner child in me that I can get through to a lot of kids, and, and I'm willing to hear them out. They feel heard, and I'm able to help redirect them when their parents can't do it. Like I have to tell sometimes the kids to respect their parents when it's like you should be doing that automatically. Why do I have to come and tell you that? And then the parent comes and just be like, "Yeah, can you tell them to?" And I'm just thinking, I'm like, how am I the middle person when you the parent? This kid should already be listening to you, but they're able to do that to me, but can't respect you. But you come to me to say respect you. I mean, again, it's an interesting space to be in, but at the same time, it just lets me know that's where I need to be. And I can't tell you on numerous occasions either how many kids have came up and just randomly hugged me, how many kids have broken down crying when they saw me because I came back and just surprised people. How many kids have either called me uncle, dad, any type of thing of like adopting me and can you be a part of my family, to the point of even some really sharing like deep dark, you know, secrets that they was like ain't never wanting to share with nobody. They're that comfortable. So for me, it's like, yes, he said for the streets.
Oh my God.
Again, they on figure Hoa. They're on figure Hoa. That's where they
Oh,
at.
oh
Just
man.
don't go.
Oh,
Don't go
oh,
over
oh.
there. Stay away from over there. You don't want to get caught up.
It has
That's all
been
I'm
so
trying to tell you.
brave.
But yeah, ultimately to answer your question, Kundin, in my mind, yes, but in reality, no.
I already got one running around, as you heard. You know what I'm saying? No diaper on, living the best life. But yeah, I'm already living that already. So
Ah,
That's what I'm talking about. Going to conventions everywhere.
going to conventions, let her see movie stars I wish I could have seen when I was smaller. Yeah, just having a good old time.
what do you do?
What do I do? I'm an IT tech. Once upon a time, I was a soldier of 15 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to conventions for that?
hmm?
You have to go to conventions for that? Oh,
Oh no, that's just my leisure time.
okay.
Yeah.
I love comic books, video games, anime, cartoons. So anytime I see them, I gotta go see them.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't worry, Notes. We got you too. I'm like everybody's getting they round to be popping in and sharing. That's
Oh,
just this how we going. That's how this episode is.
Yeah.
oh, those trying to get on? I'll tag out. You know what I'm saying? Shinobi Steve Austin can go right now. He can get up in here.
Oh yeah, man. We look at and for my folks that's still up in here too, Tyra, just know that when we get to the end, just know everybody, if you're still here, you're gonna be coming in. You can give your last wrap up and final thoughts. So just be ready. Just putting y'all on call. But yeah, all right, then Shinobi, let me go ahead and let's see if he's still here because he pops in and out just randomly all the time. So
Yeah. Nah, he's still there.
let's all right.
I'll bounce out.
Appreciate you. Much love. You already know it.
No.
All right. Get yourself up in here, Notes. What you gonna
Still
do?
here.
What you gonna do when they after you? And then now Phase comes when I was trying to get him earlier, but that's all good. We love you regardless. Now let's see his answer for this question before we go to the next
That's
thing.
right.
So you want to hear me talk some more? Yes, of course. Again, we getting it all out because that's gonna be it, and that's all it is. Young Zoolander in the building.
What's up, man?
Hey,
Zoolander. How you guys doing? Hope you guys'
Hey,
Christmas
that
was
was
cool,
super
man.
cool.
Instead of YG, it's your boy YZ in the building.
Man, I'm not gonna be in
uh,
there that long. I'm not being there that long. I just wanted to say what's up. That's pretty much it.
oh, you good, G? I appreciate you popping in nonetheless. Your shirt is on the way.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, your shirt is on the way, bruh. I'm just letting y'all know. Like, of course, I had to do this out of the respect of all the time and the effort that y'all put in, to come into the show. And I do have some surprises, of course, towards the end when it comes to the recap of stuff. So, some folks might want to tune in, to still check in and see what's up. We're gonna have stats for folks, so just be ready.
Okay. I- Is this the last episode, or you got one more left?
Boy, if you don't read the topic or
Let's see.
read the top of what it says. It says, "What's the
Oh,
word? What?"
this is the final episode. Oh shit.
Notes, your music video was fire. I saw it the other day.
I appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now tell him to go watch Vulnerable. Tell him to
What,
go do that.
what is
You guys gotta,
that?
you guys gotta send me the link. I don't have the link.
Boy, if you don't go on YouTube and look up Stephanie Gale,
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna do that, man. Soon I get off of here, I'm gonna go check it out.
of course.
But
And that sounds what
I'm
that's
most
what's
definitely gonna
up.
check it out.
All right, before you do, peace out, because I know you wanted to say what's up and be chilling up in here. We need to know when it comes to read notes, sincerely notes the truth. Um, the poets of all many different names.
I'm weak.
Of course, young Zoolander, aka YZ. We want to know, how would you describe your best life besides the TV?
My best life, like have I experienced like
How
like
would you? How would you? All right, what would be okay? So how would you describe it if you haven't experienced it, or again, if you have, what are some points to it would be a best? What would be your best life? How would you picture it?
my family is okay.
Mm,
My fiance is okay. Us having a house or or just or a house and some land, a nice little I'm into like martial arts and stuff like the dojos and stuff. Kind of like a nice estate, a garden. That way I can give food back to the community.
yes,
Um,
going to
have a
the
bunch.
Olympics.
Not really have a bunch of money, not just for me, but just to help out people.
Mm,
People, and I'm talking about. I know bullshit charity. I don't really like charities like that. Like I'm talking
Mm,
about like me just doing it myself.
understood.
Um,
I don't think the TV agrees with you though.
that's pretty much it. Oh, and to take care of my grandma,
Mm,
make sure she has everything before she leaves this earth. Just having her live comfortable. That's pretty
understood.
much it.
Okay, my G. You know I appreciate you.
No problem. Before you go to sleep, though, man, hit me up, man.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm not gonna be able to because right after this show, I'm going to a show out in LA. So I'm gonna be out at a huge show. Shouts out to Project Blowed. If y'all don't know, especially the LA scene, Project Blowed, all the Blodians out there, my goodness, Lamert Park, bruh. There's so many legends that's there, man. For Micah 9 is gonna be there, Abstract Brew is gonna be there, Open Mike Eagle is gonna be there, Sojourner is gonna be there. So all my folks that know about Freestyle Fellowship and just that scene in LA hip hop, they have their 29th anniversary. So your boy's gonna be there because I was there last year. Now I'm gonna be there again this year to just see them. Yeah, not blowians, no bloatians like Project Blowed. Yes, you can look this up. Just like how we have our different places of people call them Seattleites. If you in Seattle, you know my New Yorkers. That's again just shorthand of who we are. I mean, for the people who go for to random thoughts, the randos. So just shorten names. Yeah, we not doing that. That goes back to Figueroa. That stays over there in Figueroa. Okay. Yeah, the blow-ins that stay over there in Figueroa
All right. Well, hit me up tomorrow then, man.
for sure. I definitely will. You know, are you working tomorrow?
Yeah. I get off at 6 though, but you can, you can still hit me up. I don't.
Oh.
I know that
Yeah.
side. That side says everything right now. Besides the
Nah.
TV.
Nah. The stuff that we talked about, I'm just dealing with some bullshit right now.
Understood.
So that's but I do work
Eh,
tomorrow. See you later. Happy holidays, guys.
night, no.
See you
Peace and love
later.
notes.
Bye.
You already
Peace.
know. Always love.
My girl said bye.
Peace.
All right,
Of
guys.
course. Peace, peace.
Yeah.
And
Peace.
then
And
and then phase.
I will I will leave for a bit myself in about 10 or 20 minutes because I have to have dinner. Uh, but you're gonna be on till 8 or 9, right?
I'm gonna try to push till 8:30.
Okay.
Just because it just depends. If y'all gonna start piecing out, I might just flip and do the last part right now of the recap, and we can end up crossing out the dangers of awareness just because.
Yeah. I can
But it just
come back
depends.
around
I'm
8 actually.
right.
So it's
Um,
been a
if we
great 3 days.
let me see. Yeah, all right. This is what we gotta do. Phase. I understand you might be busy, extremely busy. I need you on here, brother, for a while so we can let Kundin go do what Kundin needs to do and then come back. And I think we are going to make it at that 8:30 mark. But brother, I'm gonna need you to pop up in here just for the one time, for the last time. If you got to, Kundin, and whenever you said in the next 10 minutes, do what you have to. But yeah. Pop up in here. Tell us about your best life before we get into the dangers of awareness. So I hope you get you up in here, my G. And then of course, one we have chicken and beef one time.
Oh yeah.
We did.
Hello.
Hey, yo, what's up?
Yo,
Hey,
yo.
Dave.
How's
Victor.
everybody doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm all right, maintaining.
Yeah, maintaining with the bun almost coming out the oven.
Yeah, dude, sooner than I thought. Believe it.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, 22nd is when he's due. So, ah, but yeah, everybody's good over here
That's good. That's
on this
good.
bittersweet occasion, man. It's crazy. It's the last one.
I know, but man, I look, there's a lot more beautiful things that will be happening, and I have the song. The song is done. I'm gonna play the song towards the end, but just to quote some of the lyrics from the song, even though this, is a matter part of the plan, even if this is the end, we still gonna take this with us regardless.
For
And
sure.
we always gonna know what's the word.
What?
It don't even have to be here. We always gonna know what's the word.
What's the word? What's the word?
Yes, I did. I played the hook. I played the hook earlier. Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to have folks, being here for a bit so I can, or you know what? I'll just do this just for y'all.
What?
Before Phase gets to talk about envisioning his best life, I'm gonna give y'all the option. We can let that rock and continue and leave me for playing the song towards the end, or I can play the song right now and then just push from there. So I'm giving y'all the consensus that includes everyone in the comments and y'all three on the screen. It's on y'all.
I vote for now.
Yeah,
Why
let's
not?
hear it now.
Again, we got so
Right?
far we got unanimously 3. Anybody else in the comments said it's unnatural? What?
Yo, man. Before we get into that, so I guess we're going to play the song real quick, man. I just want to give everybody their flowers, man. Like for real, like the community that has formed and just been around. What's the word? And all the ancillary, programs has been so dope. Like I've met some incredible people, including you three, and I will never take that for granted. So I just want to, of course, give you your flowers. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for allowing people to speak in a world that doesn't always give the opportunity to do so. Thank you for trying to educate people in a system that doesn't want people educated. And thank you for just being a genuine good person because they're, few and far in between. So thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you.
It's all love. I am a reflection of many and all. So the reason why I am who I am is because we are who we are. So I appreciate y'all for that. Because again, I could have been doing this for the whole 4 seasons. Ain't nobody showed up. I don't even know how long I would have been doing that. So it's not only just what I put out there, but I'm appreciative for y'all showing up and giving of your time. Every time I know I say it, but it's because literally y'all ain't even gotta be here, but y'all are. So I take that and I appreciate it very much, brother. You already know. Builders from day one.
Of course. Of course.
Is
Goodness.
POA going to be the next series?
No. Whatever he is saying, no. Don't listen to Chicken and Beef. That's a whole nother different thing. That's for random thoughts talk series, and they just make fun of the whole inside joke of me being the master of TOA, which is the temple of acronyms, because I love acronyms. So
Right.
that's why. But no, that there's no extra show of anything else of that happening. The only thing that's gonna, the funny thing is, because he keeps bringing it up, the funny thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get inspired randomly, and then don't be surprised that somewhere down the line in a couple of years you're gonna see a project that has the title TOA in it somewhere. Don't be surprised.
I'm not.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I knew it. It's the
Yeah,
next one.
vegan chopped cheese, please.
Please.
We're talking about lyrics. Yeah. So if y'all want to tune in and see lyrics, eat a vegan chopped cheese, because at this point he has not gotten to the part of his deal from the bed.
I mean, he still got
January
3
7th.
days, right? Was it by the end of the year or is it by Christmas?
He got until 11:59, December 31st.
Oh, he got
He
time.
gonna do it.
All he needs, but look, again, all he needs to do is drop. Literally, he could do that 8-bar verse for the Random Thoughts theme song that I've already sent mine in for months now, and I still want to hear this song all together. Like,
I
I'm
know.
still waiting. Steph is waiting. But again,
Vegan chopped cheese. What is
yeah,
that?
Ad need to eat one too. He only played the hook of his song. The hood.
What? What?
But I know you mean hook. They're I was about to say the K and the D is not even nowhere close to each other. I don't know how, but it's
Vegan
probably on
chopped
the phone.
cheese.
You're
Oh,
saying,
Anyway, play the track so you can get your credit. You don't have to
oh
do
my
chopped cheese.
goodness, y'all are hilarious,
I'm gonna try to put
man.
some
He
Tim's.
thinking that like I'm scared of a vegan chopped cheese. Like, no, I'm not scared of no vegan chopped cheese. I just don't want a regular chopped cheese because I'll get sick. Right. By request, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the full song. Shouts out to my brother Reflection
Yes.
Error up in the building, aka Motion. He knows what that means. But shouts out to you, brother. What's the word? Right. Here goes the premiering of What's the Word theme song.
What's the word? What's the word? Tune in. Live on channels. They all on this earth. Still trying to find a word. But they heard for sure. So they gotta know. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, man. What's the word? What's the word? Welcome to the show. I'm your brother A.D.V.I.S. Come build with us close. On Wednesdays, tune in for the lessons. Topics and discussions are now in session. In the midst of a pandemic, we started a conversation made for community jargon, a bargain to build support. Taking the time, watching these days go by. Current events, keeping up with the times. Stay glued in the web. Because anything can happen at any place and anywhere, so please be here to say. Since proper preparation prevents poor performance, and knowing these patterns can lead to dysphoria, pick and choose what will stop us, reassure us, a disclaimer. We will beginning to dive into the core of us. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah, what's the word? What's the word? Back with an episode, many topics to show the world and expose. To further gain wisdom from the growth. Dive in with an open mind, Geronimo. Quality versus quantity, emotions, anxiety. Finding focus, overcoming fear and drama. Death and dying, the 4 levels of understanding. Distance versus close to nature, rankings, accountability, passion, fatigue, identity, intuition, intentionality. The social dilemma, choice, sexuality, love versus hate, safety versus risk. How to assess your relationships properly. How to avoid making assumptions and knowledge in the power of the present moment. Nature versus nurture, fasting, language, change, and culture. Legally punch, fake trauma, hope. Addressing fairy tales, explaining the unknown. Let me hear your thoughts and perspectives and define what they mean while engaging in the session. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all?
Killing me, yo.
What's the word? What's the
Oh,
word,
yo.
y'all? What's the word?
Hilarious.
What's the word? What's
Forgive
the
me,
word?
man.
What you
He
heard?
ain't lying. He's not wrong.
What's the word? We made it, clap it up. 4 seasons done, it's time to wrap it up. 101 shows created in the spotlight. Testimonies from alumni saved this lifetime. I'm truly grateful and glad of the outcome. The energy get great and our hearts will surround us. Remind us finally of what was left. The platform built by brick, make it represent a model of unity, power, balance and peace, knowledge, truth, life and reality. Now continue to speak, no matter the plan, you still gonna know what's the word to the end. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah. What's the word? What's the word, y'all?
Yeah.
What's the word? the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah. What's the word?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yo, yeah.
Yes.
It is kind of messed up. You saved it for the end, but whatever.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I think that was just what it was meant to be.
I feel it.
Because I made it. You see the fun facts and stuff that I literally have set for later.
Mm.
And usually when it comes to music, I've just come to, again, feel free with the process. So if it just doesn't make sense, it just didn't make sense because all the pieces didn't come together. So
I feel that. I am.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel that.
So it
Uh,
was just funny because I'm like, yo, no, we need to be able to sum up this series, and I think it was just rightfully so that the theme song was the way to sum up everything. That don't mean you can't still listen to this theme song whenever you want because there's still going to be shows. The shows are still there, but more from us. I mean, that's it. We don't know where it's going to be taken, but what's the word has been cemented. Those who have been here to witness it, again, this is a moment in time that others can't have. I'll say this. If you want to make a documentary about the show, you can still use the song.
I agree. That's in the work.
look at you getting your licensing in the back end.
All these projects. I agree. Documentary in the work. TOA in the work.
Oh, please stop. No. Stop.
You got
This TOA mess. No. I'm a gift it off to Elzai if that's the case, because that brother is a master with the acronyms. So, yeah, Elzai. Shouts out to the brother Elzai. Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped a project with Oh No. If y'all don't know, Oh No is Madlib's brother,
Yes.
and him and Elzai did a whole project together called Heavy Vibrato.
That was a
It's
good acronym
nice.
there.
It said word, working on reflecting daily,
I
especially
was
with
just
your word.
bumping Elzai too on oh man, Masters of the Universe, Binary Star.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I played honest expression actually on what
Yes.
Tuesday? No, yeah, Monday. No, I played honest expression on Monday. I was actually spinning at my auntie and my grandma's house. I brought my DJ equipment and I was spinning that song and a few other ones.
Yeah, that album. Whew.
Yes.
Yeah, Elzai's on that. The KGB joint. Yeah.
Y'all don't know. We love music over here. But shouts out to Santi. Peace and love.
We're loving it. It's a thing.
Wednesday. No.
Yes. It's a thing.
For y'all. Y'all can do that for your own.
Like
We'll let Crisss head it.
no,
And Crisss can do it because
it's a legacy.
I'm gonna be selfish right now. I want my Wednesdays back.
Hey.
So I can either be able to get a bit more time at the school with the students after school, and also so I can start learning all this editing and other video footage stuff, so then I can actually put stuff on YouTube and all other different places. So not trying to be extremely rude, but it's like, yeah, like I need my Wednesday back though. We still gonna communicate regardless, but it don't have to be on Wednesday.
You can have cauliflower wings on Wednesdays.
Oh, Lord, no, we can't.
Well, because
We can't.
Embrace the movement of the TOA. Stop. If you trying to make it like that, it is not no movement. It's a philosophy. Ain't nobody moving anywhere. It's all in your mind.
Nah,
be surprised.
it can become a truth if enough people believe it.
Right.
So I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm embracing it.
Y'all need to stop, okay? We not starting.
Chicken, I got
there's
you.
no need. There's no need for all this extra
Planted the
stuff.
seed even offline.
It's over. I will never see you again, bruh. If you don't, you are literally 5 minutes away from me Don't start with this.
He wants his Wednesdays back. Okay.
Y'all, you are literally 5 minutes
I'll
away
never
from
see
me.
you again. This is it.
Y'all are
Like
hilarious.
Chicken said earlier, start passing out the tissues.
Imagine people make a philosophy around you, hate in your own movement.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
no. Oh no.
Don't start, okay? We're not, okay? I hope to be so lucky. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's your best life? Everybody in the comments, y'all tell me, what is y'all's best life? How would y'all describe y'all best life? While I'm gonna let the brother FaZe go over here and he'll describe that to y'all for himself.
Best life.
Yes.
Uh, like ideal
I
or
knew
just
I knew you were gonna use that word, so yes, you can use the word
I.
ideal. Go for it.
You know what, man? Like honestly, after everything I've been through in mine, and particularly this year, like I don't want to say that I'm living it, but I kind of am because
Mm,
you know I'm able to kind of do what I want, you know, and provide for my now family or potential family, and be able to learn, grow, and try to do my best to contend and stand up for others because that's something
yes.
that's important to me. If I had the ideal world, honestly, it'd probably be that
Mm,
to have to be in a place, to be in a system where we value our humanity over profit, right? Where anybody, regardless of where they from, has a chance, right?
yeah.
Where we feed kids because it's the right thing to do, and we give people treatment not because it's profitable, but because it's the right thing to do. Um, that's the ideal world because what I want is I want anybody to be able to do what they want, to have their basic needs met, and to be able to move how they want to move.
Yeah.
That's it. And I know it's like I could be selfish and be like, oh yeah, I wish I had money and a bigger house and all that, but like I've been so blessed, like sometimes I feel like I can't even pray to ask for more. Like, you know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I just I'll pass it on. Like, whatever I could do to make somebody else's life better, and that's for advocating for a better system, advocating for change until we get there,
yeah.
or at least even planting the seeds in this next generation of folks that that are coming and showing them that it could be something different. That you can get the bag, right? You can get paper and take care of people and have people taken care of. Like it's not a fallacy that those two things it's not an ultimatum. Both things can
Yes.
happen.
Mm, mm. It's just an outlook on how you. Again, I go back to just saying the intention. If that's the intention, and you make it a reality, it can become a reality. But how? Some people say, how plausible, how realistic is it?
Like to respond, I think T.Y. Beats is asking like, true, like, are you happy in that big house? Me right now, yes.
Mm,
But first of all, my house ain't big. Trust me. But hey, it's big enough for me and mine. And it's not because like you talk. I still got grad school student loan debt, homie. Like I still got debts. But I'm not. I'll be front if I said I was struggling, right? But I know people that are here in my neighborhood, here in my city, right? And we have to do better. We have to do better from a systemic point, but we have to do better as neighbors and as people that live by each other too. So yeah, am I happy? Yeah, sure. But am I like content with life? Nah. I know there's work to be done, but I love the work and I love the possibility of what's out there. So we're gonna keep at it.
yeah.
Oh, got you. So it's all good. It's all good. But nah, I'm glad you said something like, and this is why I'm gonna miss this. it's the way these conversations go. It's the way, it's your ability to draw things out of people. The weird questions you ask that,
Yeah.
that nobody like, wait, what? All right, well, never thought of it that way. And the way you push us to think different, pieces
So,
up. Yeah, but like I think that's the real like value you brought to do this platform, and that's why we love you, brother. So again, thank you. I'm gonna be giving you flowers all the way on the way out.
man,
I agree. So I'm gonna go have dinner. I can still stay on, but if somebody wants to come in, you can drop me anytime.
yeah, I'm gonna have. Let's see, Santi, if you can, please pop in because this is the
Cool,
last
then.
like final episode.
Cool, then you
And
Santi,
stay.
pop in.
I'll jump off. I'll jump off.
No,
I'll
Kuhn
jump
is
off.
about to go eat.
yeah,
Oh,
I have to
okay.
go eat anyway. So yeah, all day. Yeah.
So yeah. So Santi, if you can, please, you're more than welcome to jump in and please share. But yes, uh, Faye, you already know it's love and it's always gonna be continual love. And I appreciate I'm glad I'm glad that actually what the premise for this show and the intention behind the show was met, especially with not only love but open arms, but it went beyond what I was even expecting where else it could go. Because I more so, I mean, this is really like my end of like when we're getting towards the end to talk about, but part of the reasons again why I started the show in the first place was to build this community, especially during the pandemic. For those who don't know, like the show started in the midst of the pandemic, and it was partly because not only that people came to me, especially when I started doing more interviews, people was like, yeah, like I feel like I can't really speak about anything and stuff, and like it's not a space for me to do that. Like, need someone to facilitate. Like, I kept hearing the whispers from a number of people. So something just prompted me to just go ahead and it's like, you know what? Let's dive into this. Let's figure it out. I don't know where I'm going with all this stuff, but let's make something out of this because I want to check in with my folks and I want to know how they're doing. So then that's how it ended up going. And then part of it too, for me, it was also a selfish part. I know I keep saying selfish a lot. It's just because I want to again be upfront and transparent. What's good, my G?
What's up,
Santi,
man?
what's the word?
What's the word? How you guys doing?
Doing
Chilling,
Good, brother.
chilling.
Yeah.
you.
I'm all right.
Santi's another brother that I'm not gonna say more recently, but it's been a while that we had met, and we just chopped it up. Had great convos at one of the shows. I got to actually open for my brother Rube for his album release party, and just from there, just been a solid brother. Pop in, we just have our convo. So Santi, welcome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You already
I've been
know
I've been I've been rehabbing a bad injury for the last 6 weeks.
what
So
happened.
I had a real bad sciatica flare up, a gnarly one. Yeah, gnarly one. They gave me um they
Peace
told me it was like
reflection.
it was a 8 to 12 week recovery. I'm on week 6. I'm feeling a lot better. This is like the first week that I'm able to sit down in the last month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm happy, to say the least. Do you know what I mean? It puts a lot of things into perspective, where you're like, damn, you don't know pain until you feel the pain. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it was bad. It was real bad.
And
So,
you start appreciating the
oh, yeah.
things that you had prior.
Oh, yeah. The smallest things that you never even thought you'd be grateful for. You know what I mean? For real. That's where I'm at. But yeah, it feels good to kind of be back.
That's what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
was
about.
I was I was only able to like walk for like 15 seconds for like a whole almost month. Yeah,
Wow.
it was crazy. Yeah, but here I am. Perfect timing, right?
It's just how it goes. The universe does it not on purpose. It's when you need it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. He said facts. You take it for granted,
Yes,
your pinky toe until it's gone.
that's
Oh my goodness.
he ain't,
Of
he ain't,
course.
he ain't lying. He ain't wrong. Look, man, Trigger the Beat, man, he be hitting, man. Like,
Of
oh man,
course. But I'm glad to hear that you know are still there on that road, but doing a lot better than
Thanks, son.
previous.
Yeah,
Sending you still more healing, you know,
yeah.
much
Thank you,
peace
brother.
and ease.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still got three more weeks of physical therapy, but I'm on my way.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's for
about.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
So go for it. I see you looking at it. Go for it. We've been talking about in your perspective from your side. How would you describe your best life? And
dang?
or if not, I'll give you the phase on remix. Your ideal life.
Uh, Valuing the small things, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's I barely jumped in. I don't know what the rest of you have said, but valuing the small things, things that we don't realize are in front of us are precious. You know what I'm saying? I think it starts with that. Really knowing what the bare essentials are. You know,
Mm,
I think you know we we victimize ourselves by choice. I feel like many times when we shouldn't. You know, we don't appreciate what's in front of us, and I think appreciating what's really in front of us, even the smallest things. Like I'll speak for myself as being capable of being able to drive. You know what I'm saying? Being
yeah.
capable of celebrating Christmas or the holidays with my family. You know, I know that kind of sounds like very 2020-ish. You know what I'm saying? What I just expressed, but it's 2020 wasn't as bad. You know what I mean? As bad as some people may have it. You know, some people may want like our best life, our worst life could be someone else's best life.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
especially with current events that are going on right now.
yes.
sorry.
That's how I feel about it.
This man just came in here, King Griffey Jr. All, all the elite baseball players right now, and just knocked it out of the park for real.
I like the Ken Griffey analogy because that boy was a heavy hitter, but he was always injured. So yeah, I
Yeah.
could relate.
I wasn't trying to say all
Oh,
that, but
come on, man, like
I
that.
was trying to say
True
all
though,
of
it's true.
that. But dang.
Without changing subjects, though, I mean, you guys are baseball cats. I feel like Ken Griffey was arguably the GOAT, but had he never had the injuries, he would be the unquestionable GOAT. Correct?
Mm,
It's kind of like it's kind of like Grant
Grant
Hill.
Grant
Hill.
Hill.
Yep.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, that is hilarious.
Cold.
So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Oh, brother, and even more.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
and,
go
and
ahead.
I want to add on to what my boy right here was saying is, yeah, bro, you're great at getting the best answers out of people. You're great at dissecting a situation in your on your platform, and it's unfortunate that you're ending it, but I'm assuming that's the beginning of some other things on the reason why you're doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, I appreciate the sentiment and you sharing that. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, part of it is, and going back to like the reasons why that I started this platform in the first place, again, was to bring a community of folks like-minded around topics to be able to, you know, check in on everybody, how they doing, especially again, this happened during COVID. This is 2020. So really seeing how my folks was doing, while at the same time, the selfish part that I was getting to, I was talking about, was also to see who supports me, like my music and like everything else. Like this is also the time for those folks that actually want to get in contact and talk with me. Like this is one of the platforms to be able to do that. So I saw another reason why I ended up wanting to do that was just again building community, creating that space, and then those who really support me and they want to talk and have a convo, like I'm here. And for me, when I say it had went beyond my expectations, I didn't again, I did this off of a whim because it was just in that moment what was needed. So I was feeling what was needed in that moment, and I just went for it. After the second season, which this is one of the fun facts, the second season is the largest season because the second season actually had episodes, 40 episodes. So after the second season, it met its purpose already.
Yeah.
I was like, we already did it. We went through a lot of topics, had a lot of folks come on, share different sentiments on things, was able to, walk through, create, a core building of folks already. And I was just like, it just felt right. Like there, I was like, I feel like this is it right here. But then again, I heard y'all that was just like, let's keep it going. Like, hey, like even with like talking about, oh, what about the after shows and like and like those are great times too. We I know none of them were saved or anything, but we had some fun times during these after shows. It was just hilarious. We even had some people that I admire. Of course, admire a lot of y'all, but there's a lot of people that popped on that I admire, never planned on ever popping on to come in and check in, and they did. And it's just like, yo, that's, it's a beautiful thing. At the same time, it always leaves me awestruck. Like, y'all here just for just like this? That's it? And like the combos, like, I didn't have to like bribe anything else and be like, yo, the first like 10 people that be here, I'm gonna send out $10 gift cards. Like, nah, they're like, nah, it's like y'all come here again for just the way that we all presently want to share and how the format is made. So again, I'm appreciative of y'all because if not, I would have been done with this.
But we'll take all that too. I mean, shoot, whatever you trying to get, send it our way. Okay?
Well,
But
I'm not going to say much of anything, but just chill. And there's some other stuff, but I feel you. I'm just not trying to. Don't try to break my pockets. You sounded like some of the students right now, and I'll be getting stuff for them, and I got a whole group of things, and they just be like, you know what? I'm like, where's the snacks and stuff? I'm like, I lost my spot. Plus, I've been saving this. This come out of my own money. And some of the kids is like, you know what? We're going to tell them to give you a raise. It's just like, yeah. And most is like, why? You want a raise so I can get y'all some more stuff? It's like, yeah.
yeah.
But still, you deserve a raise, though. We're going to go tell them. But it's hilarious. Trying to break my pockets. I'm just playing. It says, stop being wallflowers hiding in the background. So whoever is in there, don't hide. You can't run, you can't hide. Shout out to dilated people.
Oh man.
But yeah, this I know it is again a bittersweet feeling, but I know it's needed. I still have for my folks who do again any type of artistry. It can be photography, it can be music, poetry, authors. I still have my platform for more interviews, which that one's always dope. I love doing more interviews. Like it's amazing to hear everybody's story and behind that story to then pair the music and the experiences that are shared to really get a more holistic view of not only just who that person is as their art that they create, but just them as an individual. And then just seeing the a lot of the consistencies throughout for a lot of artistic people is very interesting to be like, okay, some people started off with poetry, like a whole grip of y'all started off with poetry. Others were transient, like as in they're always transitioning from place to place. They didn't have one particular place that they lived. They was always moving. So like that played into the role of like their artistry and stuff. Others had funny moments of like them hurting themselves as being cherishable moments. I don't know why, but yeah, but it just was, as well as having a community of people around them that weren't into music or into that particular art that they were doing and it got influenced. So that's always still going to be here.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about all the other different shows, but again, I'm just playing everything by ear. I have ideas for stuff. I do want to start back up my Words Are Real Spells series. So I just need to, again, give myself time because I don't know why, but I'm over here wanting to be a master juggler and stuff, and I need to understand I need to get down juggling a few things before I can juggle, 25 different things.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with self-preservation, especially when you been able to see all the good you've been able to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always got to come first. And I know that's people hear that and sometimes can think it sounds selfish, but it's necessary because we're human, and
Yeah.
that's how we operate. As much as we need people, we also need to be able need that time and space for ourselves to
Yeah.
recharge, to plan, to explore, to do all that. Like we
Yeah.
applaud you for holding it down just about every Wednesday for the last 3 years. And you know what? Now you get to kind of do your baby retirement. So it's like it is what it is. On to the next thing. We're gonna rock with you, man. I can't. I could probably speak for everybody on screen in the chat. Like, we're gonna rock with you. He's just
Yeah.
tired of it.
He just
Yeah,
tired of
that's
it.
what it is.
Hilarious.
He's just tired of us. I'm tired of seeing you people.
Y'all making me sound like, really? I didn't even mean to do this and it still did it. That's not what I was trying to thumbs up at all. That's not what it was.
Expo!
No, that's the phone. The phone is
Expo!
lying. The
He
phone is lying,
said,
y'all.
I'm tired of you.
I was trying to say, y'all reminded me of the
Oh,
Dave
man.
Chappelle skit of the player haters ball over here saying, I hate you. I hate you too. I hate what you know. Like, nah, that's not even the case. I just like I've said before and a few other shows before, there's some shows I was very transparent where I came on and I was like, I'm not feeling it, y'all. Like, I'm really not. And
Yeah.
it kept getting to a point. Like, that's honestly why season 3 wasn't that many episodes, is because there was a lot going on in the background. And there are some days that I was like, really not gonna say I felt defeated, but I was extremely tired. And I was just like, I don't even think I can, bring that energy and facilitate, to the best of my ability for y'all to be on here. But there's a few episodes where I had that mindset, but I pushed through it, and it ended up being some of like really good episodes, and randomly like a lot of people just would show up. So I learned through that process that, especially sometimes in those times that you do have that last bit of strength and will to go on, go on. And then realistically, if it's after a while, if it keeps showing up, it's a sign telling you that there's something else that needs to, be addressed.
Mm.
So again, really,
He's pressing you.
really,
He's
really.
pressing you.
What did
The
he say? He'll
best.
be back after
Yo.
his nap. You need to relax. Shouts out to my brother Nap, New Age Prophet. Shouts out to him. All these acronyms you don't even know, now you know. But yeah. But this dude is
Be
saying he's
away.
still.
See, you exude it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. Look, all I will say is this. There'll be probably times where I randomly will come on and actually might be doing some
Yeah.
just random beats or something, and who knows what it turns into. But like, I think in a show format, I think it's like we calming down.
That's cool. Again, man, we love you. We respect your energy. We'll be tapped in with you. I'm gonna jump out because I would love to get your gang here. I need to see that. I need to see that. So peace and love, y'all.
We'll see if he actually does. See, look, I'm a figment of imagination, y'all. I never was here.
We gonna give you a chance. Put up, motherfucker. All right, y'all. Peace.
Oh man,
Peace.
peace. Ah,
I, I agree with you though, Advis, on what you're saying. I could relate big time. It's like hitting the gym. You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't hit the gym in a minute, but once you're on that roll, when you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna keep doing it. That
yeah,
commitment, and you have your days where you're just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But you end up going, and you're like, dang, this is probably like one of the best workouts I ever had. So
yes,
as it pertains to your podcast and your platform, it's more like you don't realize that you needed the mental exercise until you had it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's how I approach when I have done podcasts. That's how I approach it, as a mental exercise, along with a fellowship. You have created a fellowship. You know what I mean? I feel like, and I wanted to ask you is what is it that you embrace the most in this? Is it could be something else than than the two things I'm going to mention, but is it learning or is it like preaching?
Oh, definitely for sure. The first part.
Yeah.
It's definitely the first part. I'm. I have over time come to again, finally now be more outspoken and share my thoughts and perspectives. Because in the past, that wasn't necessarily me. I was the person that what I think Tyra was saying earlier, like a wallflower. Like I was in a room, I'm like super observant. Like still to this day, I am. But that was always my role. Like I just wanted to observe and always learn and soak things in. Because for me, when it came to learning, I was on that trajectory of being like that kid that be the first one that always want to say something, that want to show the project first, want to do this. But so many of my teachers, looked at that as a nuisance. So that actually stopped me from wanting to really say much anything. So I went and revert back to just listening and just my experiences in the schools, and then moving on to either being program leaders for different programs, being in grad school, and then just doing shows and facilitating it. It became more of a, I do want to share my piece, but at the same time I still want to learn from others and hear perspectives. So not only just we're having a conversation, I'm not trying to convert nobody, I'm not trying to make somebody go from one side to the other, but to really just learn your reasons of
Hmm.
why you have a perspective or you have a thought on what you're speaking about, because then it opens up so much more for me to really understand all the four levels of understanding that I talked about in the song, because again, it helps me get a well-rounded view of who you are as a person. And I use that so much again when I'm working with the students. I think that came from that, is learning from the kids, not being afraid to be like, you just taught me something, and to make them think that, imagine, baby, oh my goodness. Yeah, some of them told me to be quiet for sure. I'm gonna just let you know that. And then one of the teachers to this day, I'm not fond of her at all, because she definitely would target me and my other homie, and it was purposefully. But I'm not gonna say anything else to that. But I was able to really enhance that skill as I went in was in Seattle for a while doing a program with kids, and like getting down to the basis of not just listening, but like that active listening,
Hmm.
and then giving people their space to actually express themselves honestly, without being like, yo, what you just did there, that's a little too much. But being like, we can go here, but just don't go this far, and we cool.
Hmm.
And after I started learning how to set those boundaries, that's where I started to see not only conversations grow, but I started to see like students explore and learn from there. And it just always brought me back into that, again, that learner mindset, being a lifelong learner. So for me, it's always about that. I can give a care about me being on here preaching about what's right and what's wrong, or be the main head. Because
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I don't really care to do that. I just happen to, that's why I wanted to do it in this type of format, because I like to also just pass it off and just listen and hear. That's what I really value about, shouts out to, again, the other co-host that I'm with on Random Thoughts Talk series. I literally just go there and I just share my perspective. I ain't running nothing. I ain't having to do no segment or anything. I'm just in there being able to share my thoughts and then listen. And again, have that reasoning back and forth with them. So I don't care about being the person out in front. I don't need to be the person out in front. But when it's the time, it calls for the time and the place to do so, I'll step up to the plate if I had to. Like it's definitely fine with me.
Yeah.
And I'll even be um very, very clear and honest with y'all. Doing this, I went through those back and forth times where there'd be certain people who would come on, and in the back of my mind, my ego will be wanting to challenge them, like intellectually wise. And what I mean by that is, like, they're talking and I'm like, okay, they taking up so much time to talk. Like, now let me jump in with my point and I'm gonna, take over the conversation. But it got to a point as I would just observe from the outside looking in, and I was just like, ain't no reason for that. Because then look how beautifully this is happening. Like, I don't need to interject and stop somebody just because I feel like I'm not getting enough talking time. Like, nah, forget about me. This is not just about me. This is everyone else that's on here. So it really did help mold that type of skill in me to like really sit there and listen. Even if you think you have the information and knowledge, guess what? You ain't got the full. That's why you got
Mm-hmm.
to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doesn't it feel great when someone changes your perspective as well during some of these episodes? I
Yes.
mean, like,
So, go for it.
I like that. Like, it's something that just like yourself, it wasn't anything that I had with me before, and, not anything that I had in the bag. But now it's like I look forward to learning someone else's point of view, their reasoning behind it, just like you stated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it as something beautiful and not something that's very common, or it's not an agenda that you hear that's being pushed very often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sway had
That's
the
hilarious.
answers.
Sway did have it. The funny thing is, Kanye actually was in an interview and said that, yes, Sway had the answer. Just at that moment in time, he didn't, but yes, Sway had the answer. But yeah, he said he played all the roles. Great. I appreciate that. And I think we're still learning. We're still growing in every facet of life that you want to improve on. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to end up doing
Yeah.
and what you need to do. And I can't tell you what you need to do or what you want to do. That's all up for your interpretation to go and figure that out. But please listen to your body, listen to, what your mind has set for you. And if you're in those particular states or wherever you find yourself, that's why I value not just this community, but I value the relationships that's been built, the brotherhoods. Again, y'all, most of y'all is like extended family at this point. And it helps because, again, I can come and then figure out and learn so much stuff like, what's done happened, and y'all can share your perspectives, your thoughts, and your own words on what you can guide. We all are helping each other guide, and that's really the essence of what a community is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know in sisterhoods, yes, sisterhoods, yes. We're not gonna forget all of the sisters that's in there, of course. Um, but really, yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, I always and I've learned to also refrain from always using like this is mine, and more of we said don't get canceled. Look, I'm a actually look at, you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna put you on blast right now. So for my folks, one of the fun facts of canceled episodes.
Uh-oh. Was it the one? No, okay.
So out of 101 episodes, we had one episode that got canceled. We got one episode canceled, and guess who was the one that helped us get that episode canceled?
Answer? I know the answer.
Go for it.
It was chicken and beef.
And if y'all want to know what episode that was, guess what? You ain't gonna know what I was playing. It was episode 8 of this season of Why Live a Life of Crime. It never came to fruition. We had the episode, couldn't even save it because we broke the guidelines, so we
Dang,
couldn't even post it.
dang, chicken and beef gave you some beef, huh?
We had beef with somebody that we wasn't supposed to be beefing with, and they must have came to the live and flagged the live. So
Dang.
Who was it again? You added the
I
person.
am not going to say the person's name because I don't want this last show to be like that.
Don't do
I
it.
will tell y'all offline who it is, but no.
That's funny.
Uh, it did come to fruition. If they was there, they was there. Yes, but I'm talking about for a replay. Like that
It
episode was dope to talk
is.
about the different types of crime, why people went into it. Like I was learning on an episode because I looked a lot of this stuff up. And the funny thing is, my phrasing that I would tell to the kids at times, stop. To tell to tell to the kids is when they ask for like money or anything, I'd be like, you never ask an adult who's not in your family or your parents for money. It's inappropriate. And then they'll ask me why. Bribery. And I looked up on there. There is a misdemeanor and other stuff for bribery. So it was funny to like learn that part in there too. So yeah. Name is said, then the episode gets reshoot. Now we look at what was made was made. You cannot go back and try to remake that. I like that, Shinobi. We should reshoot. No, it's already history in the books. That's why it is one of the canceled episodes.
A lot.
It's the only canceled episode.
Yeah.
You can sell it as an NFT or something, brother. Oh man.
I vote for the reshoot and the documentary.
Yeah, there you go.
Those are my votes.
En español nomás.
There we go. No subtitles.
Nunca. Exactly. Said blame IG, not me. Oh my goodness. We ain't not gonna say no more. But
it was a good day.
it was definitely a fun day. But I appreciate you asking that and asking those questions though, Santi. Because it's a great way to not only just like rethink and recap on this stuff, but like my honest intentions on you really doing the show and like what I'm getting out of it. There's a lot of that stuff, as well as I can definitely say my facilitation skills got a lot better. Like throughout. There's also another episode that, fun fact, that I also deemed the disaster episode. But I'll explain that later. I know Chris is looking like, what? What you mean? So the disaster for me, facilitation wise, if you go back and watch the episode, I'm just like, yeah, I could have definitely done a lot better because it was all over the place. But
Topic wise,
there, not even topic wise, it's other stuff. There's outlook. If you again, I'm gonna go through some of the fun facts, and if y'all have questions on the fun facts, again, you can ask those questions there. But before we do that, because I think we've like briefly touched on it, but I just wanted to see if y'all had any thoughts on the dangers of awareness, because we've been talking about just like roughly like what we think of our best lives look like, and gaining this knowledge and wisdom, and what that can also bring along with. I know awareness is a great piece of that, but at the same time, there's some dangers that it can bring. So I don't know who wants to, or if you want to share with that, but if you think are any dangers when you become more aware or any of that sorts. But do you two have any thoughts on that?
not necessarily like danger. I know times like when I say maybe not like life threatening, like danger, but it can be uncomfortable. I uncomfortable with a certain level of awareness, like when you're socially aware of certain things, and when you're out, I could see how it can like form a level of like uncomfortability, but that necessarily puts you in a state of danger. I don't, to me personally,
Peace, Smiley.
awareness and danger kind of don't go together for me. Like if you have a certain level of awareness, it in a sense can protect you from danger. So I'm not really seeing that kind of connection. I would love to hear, certain situations where it can be. But it's kind of like my thoughts on that.
I dig it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like just from life experiences that I've shared with you, A.D.V.I.S. on here before, and even my current situation, I feel that the road on your road to awareness, there's a lot of dangers.
Yes.
And I say that because you run into information overload. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a sick kid or someone who's injured or someone who's trying to learn something and thinks this is the method, or, you know what I mean? Whether it's an art, a life skill, whatever it is, I mean, it all leads to self-awareness, you know? And I feel like the road to that is kind of dangerous. You know what I mean? Especially with the information overload part. Look at the times that we're in, you know? 2020 is a perfect example.
Yes.
You know, am I wearing a mask or am I not wearing a mask? Am I going to get this thing or not? You know what I mean? And there was like, it was so polarized. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you're like, dude, what the hell am I going to do? You know what I mean? And you're like on information overload. I think it's safe to say for us who have it pretty good here in the States, you know, I feel that we dealt with a lot of information overload during that time, and it was in pursuit of awareness, but I feel like at many times we felt like we fell short. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we were told this is going to work. This is going to work. This is not going to work. It's not science. It's that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever your cup of tea was at the time, I feel like it's that's where it comes from. That's, to me, that's a danger of awareness.
Yes.
Information overload.
Yes. And I heard you guys had it like really bad out here in LA. Like my current coworkers are like reminiscing on 2020 now, and you guys had like 2 shutdowns, I believe, out here. And so I can I can imagine the panic and all of the misinformation. It was a little different in Vegas. No one really.
What state were you in at the time?
I was in Nevada, and nobody gave an F. Like, nobody really cared about other people, and that was like, I guess that's a form of like, because of my awareness, I knew I was in danger, but I don't think it was the cause of my maybe if I was like not aware.
So,
but you'd still well, I don't know. So
the way that this is also framed, the opposite of this would end up being ignorance is bliss.
Interesting.
So the reason why I say it's a danger when it comes to awareness, the few examples I started thinking about, because Santi just exactly touched on the points I wanted to go to, was that information overload. When you open up your third eye or you step into those spiritual awareness of a lot of stuff and too quickly, you have a lot of folks such as you know, Rest with the Universe, Captain Steez. You have a lot of folks, if y'all don't know Captain Steez from Pro Era, what ended up happening in his case is he was really getting deep into not only Christ consciousness and all of these other different perspectives of just like spirituality, and unfortunately he unlived himself because of just not only all the information overload. So and just seeing all of the disdain, the decay, and you know, the wickedness around him, and that's where, you know, he decided to take that choice and be like, this is the only way I can exit from this realm, unfortunately. But that's one of the things, is for folks who are not mentally prepped to bring on that self-awareness, it can lead to unliving and, you know, transcending yourself into the, you know, next dimension or place, wherever that, you know, may end up being. That's one of the fears of like, I can just say ultra awareness. If we're going to talk about ultra instinct, this is the ultra awareness side of it. On a smaller scale, without you even knowing, you become a target. And not like saying you're putting it out there that you want to become a target.
I feel that.
But because the reason why I'm saying a lot of this stuff too is because I have a lot of experience, not only experiences, but there's so many examples when you start to break it down and think about it. Why do you think COINTELPRO was a thing? Why do you think that they created that branch within the FBI to actually watch certain people within the nation? Because they were starting to wake up people through the rhetoric that they were speaking. And I'm speaking more so with Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, Kwame Brown, which ended up being Stokely Carmichael, and all like a lot of I'm thinking in that particular case, you can do Cesar Chavez, you can do like there's a number of people that were trying to again bring the awareness to their people, whether if it was through not just politics but activism, as well as you got a lot of musicians, you know, that out of nowhere, you know, come up, you know, missing or some action that happens when
Bro,
they just start making a transition to actually speaking on or speaking
Bruce
life
Lee.
through the words. Bruce Lee, yes, Bruce Lee being another one.
Yeah.
Um, I just had, besides that, I know XXX was another one, but I just had another example that was, since we're talking about health, what about these holistic doctors?
Mm.
Dr. Sebi, all these other different folks. Like, again, I'm not trying to make it a whole conspiracy thing. It's
No, yeah.
just after a while, you start noticing people who was really pushing not only for self-improvement, but to better themselves and actually not just running the cog, but question why they have to continue to turn the cog when they could be doing it a different way. You start to notice that. There was a quote, and again, I don't know it verbatim, from Malcolm X, that it went along this lines. It says, "Watch who the system celebrates as well as discourages." Again, it's along those lines, because for that it'll tell you truly what their agenda or their truth is. So we see a lot of people who's getting keys to the city. We see a lot of people who's able to come out and they're getting celebrated for that. But then we start seeing a lot of people who's getting shunned for what they're trying to do. We see a lot of people getting into situation and drama that normally it's like, what? They shouldn't be getting into that. But then you come to find out why they're getting their stuff into that. For some of y'all, if y'all want to know about Prince, Prince literally, but without any of us knowing, was financing, was doing a lot of philanthropy work without even having to say anything. And he was fighting to get his masters. What do you think happened to a lot of musicians who fight to get their masters and then tell people to literally be like, yo, this is the way and the effort you should keep and hold on to your masters because they worth and they value something. So the reason why I say it's a danger is because if you don't fully prepare yourself when stepping into that type of awareness, you're not going to be properly prepared to take on the grunt and stuff. It's not saying it's going to be bad all the way through. It's just like, oh, I see that pothole. I prepare for the pothole. Bam, I hop over the pothole. It's just not, oh, I'm aimlessly going through. Oh, I didn't know if I walk in here because they said that I can't wear a mask, that it's not going to be no problem. You're going to have a lot of people staring you down. Somebody might come up to you and be like, why you don't have your mask on? And it'll cause a whole scene when it's just like, I'm just trying to live, but I know I don't want to do this, but you know, it's causing, again, and it's a two-way street. What we may seem as us elevating there, other people see that as you're doing the opposite to them. They're trying to elevate because of the fact that that's helpful for them, but what you're doing is harmful to them. So it's 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 a very, very difficult road to trout at times. But again, that's why you well equip yourself with the people, the places, the information, and the knowledge so that you can get yourself through there. And yeah, I didn't even talk about the global geopolitical stuff too. Like that's why Africa has had its issues, its ups and downs. You got these rigged politicians in play, and when you got the people that start want to again rise up and want to throw a coup, and then you do have a president who's all for improvement and then bringing that awareness, they randomly, you know, get unalived somewhere. So
Mm.
again, I'm not speaking all in conspiracy terms. Y'all can always look this stuff up. Like Kareem, like Urama Karima, I haven't heard from him in a while, but he always would say, look it up. Like, seriously, you can look this stuff up. It's already out there. That's one of the beautiful things, too, about our age right now. Shouts out to A.D.V.I.S., the information age. It's out there. And being able to sift your way through a lot of this is where we are needing to get that skill. And that's where awareness comes into play. You start to learn how to sift through all the BS and all the information that you can tell does not make sense or is just, you know, missing so many valid points. It's important. He said, and you can never truly people built to know that I joined. I'll laugh at y'all. This is actually happening on Instagram. One of those profiles actually did reach out. I'll just say that. It says, oh yeah, Kuna says, yeah, and now U.S. government finally admits it was a lab leak. Of course! Like, bruh, like, to me, that was super obvious because they don't make no dang sense. You go and look this stuff up, you can see that it's actually been patented since 2002, and then they keep talking about where it was, the research, like, to me, it was already unanimously there. It's just people were just playing around. We already know that. Well, I shouldn't know that, but that's, again, learning how to go through the articles and actually read between the lines. But yeah, we're derailed and mocked. Yeah, and ivermectin, made fun of. Like that. Again, it's all. When you see, when you see the setup, you've learned. I'll put it in chess terms. There's many different ways, again, to checkmate people. Some people learn these fast checkmates. There's a fool's mate. There is what's it called? I forgot what it is. Not gentleman's mate, but there's a number of different like quick checkmates that you can do to somebody if they don't know what they're doing. So when it comes to information and stuff like this, if you see the okey doke, you see the fake out, you already know the method. You're not gonna fall for the method. So if you already know they talking BS, you see the BS, CBS, you're not gonna fall for the BS. Yeah. Speaking of reading, you gotta read my comment in full, brother. No, over here. I'm not putting that word out there. Really, to join the TOA, you left. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Yeah, leaving that organization, but again, my goodness, this TOA stuff, y'all are hilarious.
Waiting for
Break them mad. Use Google if you have to. You gotta even be careful with Google because you send all that information. Like it.
all.
I mean, at this point, you gotta work with what you got, but then also know the pros and cons, like we used to do with a lot of this stuff. I was speaking with my brother yesterday about this too, knowing that even though we have all this technology, knowing that some of it is being, harvested from child work out in Africa, the cobalt and all the other minerals that's being done for this technology, is that we're consuming it. We're part of the problem, but at the same time, is what you do with that information and what you do with this technology is how you're gonna not quote unquote just offset it, but again, bring awareness to this stuff. So it's not always how the stuff is made and how it can harm, but it's how you can use it to help uplift at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if we do that, I'm gonna tell you now, everything that you know in this life has its ups and downs. If we stay focused on the downs so much, then why should I even leave my room? Why should I even go live out throughout my day if, oh yeah, cars are bad because they emit this, or people are bad because they can go around stabbing and like hurting folks, or graping people, and it's like, okay, then why would I even go outside then? Oh, TV's bad for you because they tell you all this information. Then why would I watch the TV? We don't want to get stuck in that type of circular thinking to a point where we don't break the cycle, and you wonder why cycles continue. It says, break them strategies down at fool's mate, you say? Yeah. So there's different type of checkmates that you can actually beat people in like 3 to 4 moves if they don't necessarily know how to play the game.
Yep. I've done it.
There was, look, I was learning. I was out in Seattle. One of the kids tried to pull that on me. Luckily, I knew it. And I looked at him and I was like, you really trying to do that? And he looked and he was like, dang, he knows about this. I'm like, yeah, not like, I'm not trying to get caught. Don't do that to me. But that's why it's important when we talk about current events and we talking about being informed about what's happening. That's a part of your prep right there, is to really prepare yourself so you know what's actually going on. Because the micro, what's happening within our smaller community, the macro, the outside is having a huge influence on it. So if we can get it built here, have a firm foundation here, we can be able to tackle what's happening out there.
It's true.
It says break them all down. I'm not breaking down all the different type of mates because guess what? I am not a chess master. I am not a grandmaster, wizard, none of that stuff. Go ask Magnus, Go ask dang, Robert, what's his name? There's a movie, Bobby Fischer. Go ask Bobby Fischer. There's another kid,
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Yes, like go to them. You know, go watch those movies. We got movie folks in there. Like, go for it. But yeah,
Add,
I've been talking so much.
give somebody else the opportunity to hop in. I'm going to hop out.
Oh, I was just about to get to the look because we
Ah,
already rounding out. If you can stay for the last 10 minutes,
Last
this is
10
gonna
minutes.
be it.
You got it. But
This is the
I
last 10 minutes.
want to say, I want to give you your flowers from me as well, because I've known you a very, very long time. And I am just amazed and so proud. Like I would have never seen this coming in a million years. And
Mm.
it just, I'm just, yeah, I knew your potential. I knew you were funny. I knew you guys were very talented out on the senior lawn. But like, if you would have told me this would have happened and I would have been a part of your movement, because that's what it is. You move people, regardless of how you feel about the terminology. You do move people. I'm moved by you. So, you know, I'm so proud, and this was amazing, and I know there's more to come. So thank you for letting me be able to be on your team, and thank you for letting me express my support. And you know, yeah, man, I'm trying not to cry right now, but
Mm.
but yes. So thank you. I just want to say thank you.
Much love, and the aliens approve
They
1,000%.
they do.
Much love. Shouts out to everybody that's popping in here too. Tuned in. You might have to pop back on your other profile because it's not letting me add you. And we don't need Instagram trying to do this. Last minute BS because they be watching CBS. But so just try your other profile. Hopefully you can get it in there. But I really appreciate that heartfelt, message, Chris. It's all love here. Like that's why y'all motivate me to do what I do. Because I have my own set of like missions in this life, but this is part of it, is being able to in some way, shape, or form help motivate, build like the community in any way, shape, or form, whether if it's through music, whether if it's through conversations and stuff like this. So I'm not the only one, but again,
Oh,
I always see it as a collective.
one more thing to say.
Yes.
Thank you for teaching me how to rap, but I think I will stick to photography.
Hey, what again? It's a skill that you got to keep on working on, but again, not if it's not what you want, again, it's not what you want, and it's all good. On this counter it says request wasn't sent. That's see, they trying to do
we
this
said
to us, but look,
something. It was the 2020 talk.
oh
That's what it
my
was.
goodness, or we don't need to repeat from Chicken and
Yeah.
Beef saying the stuff in the comments. But look, all right, before we head out and we push from there, I do want to at least leave with some fun facts from the show and people's stats. So let's go for it. So all this information I gathered, of course, the last 2 months, but updated as of December 21st.
Mm.
Here's all the fun facts and stats and stuff. We've already talked about the reasons of why I started it. For those who do not know, the date that it actually started on was July 15th. So July 15th, 2020 was the first official episode of What's the Word on Wednesdays. So that's a little over, 3 years.
Wow.
I went and I did because some people like to know about the views and everything else. So yes, I went and like a madman went and did a lot of math. So luckily some of my stuff don't have a lot of views, so it's easy. So the most viewed episode on YouTube out of all of the seasons was season 2, episode 1, how to assess your relationships.
Mm.
And I mean, I found that interesting because, again, when we talk about connections with people, places, and things, like relationships throughout life are just very vital and important things. So, it's very telling that, like, yeah, people are keen to wanting to know about relationships. If y'all want to know the views, it was 75 views, yeah. But that's a literally, think of like 75 views for almost like a 2.5 hour type
Right.
show, or like an hour and something.
Right.
So it's all good. On IG, the most viewed episode comes again from season 2, and this is episode 4, and we talked about the social dilemma. So we was talking about social media. We was talking about all the stuff that it brings, the ups and downs, all of that stuff. You say you better not have to run. No, I did not. I already know how that went. I had that when it was first, all that stuff first came out. It happened back like January. What, it was like probably like 2021.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I know. I didn't even have to go and look for that stuff. I could just tell in my body, because at that time I was really, really focused in on my body and eating right and proper. And I noticed, I was like, this ain't regular. And it was a combination of, I had food poisoning, and then because my system was weak from that food poisoning, I know I got it. But today, no, ain't that for sure. I can tell you that for sure not. But social dilemma on IG was 159 views. Overall, the most viewed season, which is kind of unfair, because if people heard earlier how many episodes was in season 2, you would know that season 2 is the most viewed season because of all those episodes. On YouTube, it was 515 views altogether. On IG, it was 2,096.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not letting us send requests to join, but that's okay. See, y'all try to leave and then come back and see if that ends up working. And I'm gonna go through, since I'm doing it. Season 1 most viewed. Episode 12, how to avoid making assumptions. There's 29 views. And then on IG was episode 2, how differences can be a good or a bad thing. And that one combined with the season was 1,288 views altogether.
Oh.
Yes. Season 2, again, assess your relationships, and then the social dilemma, like those, like, again, those were just the hidden episodes. I guess season 2, like, we was in there swinging for some reason. We were. Season 3, most viewed episodes, episode 14. When do you know that you have had enough? And that one combined was about 140. And then for IG, episode 13, selfishness, a virus affecting the community. We talked about it so much. And for that season, all combined, it was 981 views. In our last season, which I know it's not fair, but I had to get these numbers just because. My bad. Let me get on the phone with the stop. I don't even want to finish. Stop. So for season 4 on YouTube, there was a tie between episode 9 and 21. Episode 9 being living single in society. Here we go again. We got relationships and now being single. And then episode 21 being what motivates us to be adventurous. And that was, look, episode 21. That was just 2 episodes ago. And then on IG, episode 1, what drives us to stay above ground, was that episode. And then I included episode 8, the canceled episode, the canceled episode. So I'm gonna say it here and say it now. This is just from out of my heart and stuff. I got the stats for the main folks that I know I've seen here come multiple times. So I got their stats down, and then I'll have something special for them after, because I'm gonna ask them for specific things. But I have like the top 3. So the top 3 people that's went through and came on the most. I have some extra stuff for you. So I'll hit y'all up after for that. But the person with the most appearances throughout this whole thing. I don't know if y'all want to give y'all's guesses and stuff.
I'm gonna say it's Kundin.
You said I'm about to cry. Nah, you tripping. Ain't no onions over here. You tripping. But if you were to say that, both of y'all would be correct.
Yep.
And including today, that would make 62 episodes.
Wow.
Woo!
Yeah. It says Chairman Kudin. I'm gonna even be honest with you. Dallas. You'll be surprised. Y'all about to see right now. Well, Chicken has it came on. I can't count and remember all the people who's always in the comments. I'm talking about on cam. They gotta be cammed up. So shouts out to Kundin. Kundin, I got something for you later. So we'll talk in chat. For those wondering about a theme song, before I had my What's the Word theme song, there was another song. If you hear it in the first season, you would know. But if you want to know, the first theme song that was used to create What's the Word was from a group called Shinside Trio, and the song was called
What's the word?
Very Simple, but it's so catchy. I love it. If y'all hear it, you will understand it. The premiere of at least the instrumental for the new song before it came to be this was on season 2, episode 1. And it's probably interesting of probably why that's the most viewed too. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe because I have different instrumentals, but yes.
I don't know, man. I feel like all the toxic topics were the top ones.
Of
Toxicity
course.
rules the world. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, again, in a world where all of our senses are, you know, filled with a lot of the toxicity, it makes sense why.
Mhm.
Yes. Right. Now I got each alumni, the ones that I sent out the shirts. I would love to send out shirts to everybody, but these are for my folks that I had sent out shirts. These are all y'all's breakdowns of the episodes that you were on, as well as the total for each of the seasons. So, of course, since I have it here, I'm gonna start with Kundin. So, Kundin's first appearance in any of the shows was season 1, episode 3, and for the
Wow.
first season, Kundin was there for a total of 3 episodes. Second season, a total of 32 episodes.
Woo!
For the third season, a total of 14 episodes. And then for this season, I'm going to add today, so that would make 13 episodes.
Wow.
Now, the next one, Lovely Crisss. So, first episode that Crisss was on was season 1, episode 4.
Oh, I was in season 1?
You was there in season 1. You were episode 4.
Oh.
For the first season, it was a total of 10 episodes. For the second season, you did another 10 episodes. For the third season, there's 7 episodes. And then for this season, adding today, that makes 9 episodes for your total of 36 episodes that you were on.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
My memory is.
So just know you are the second running up, and I have something for you as well.
Oh, woo woo. I love my.
Now, boom. I appreciate you. There it is. Now, of course, for those folks who was all in waiting for the person, of course, yes, I have Chairman Dallas's stats for y'all. So here we go. So, Dallas's first appearance on the show was season 1, episode 5, and for the first season, he was in a total of 5 episodes. For the second season, a total of 4 episodes. For the third season, a total of 2 episodes. And then for the fourth season was a total of 8 episodes, which ended up rounding out to 19, which is my favorite number. So, shouts out to Dallas. And that makes Dallas the third person runner up. So then I talked to him later and I got something for him as well. Now, my brother Vic, who just popped on. So I'm going to add that to his total there. First time that he popped in was season 2, episode 24. and he was on season 2 for 2 episodes. And then he was on season 4, counting today, for 2 episodes. So shouts out to brother for he just showing up and being here for 4 episodes, like on camera. I mean, there's more episodes that y'all seen, but this is cammed up, just letting y'all know. Because I'm not going to go back and be able to verify all this stuff because, nah, can't do it. All right, for the brother notes, this brother showed up.
Blue Steel.
First appearance. Yes, Blue Steel, a.k.a. YZ, which is the young Zoolander. He showed up, first appearance, season 2, episode 30. And for season 2, that was his only episode. For season 3, came through for 3 episodes. And then for season 4, including today, that makes 6 episodes for a total of 10 episodes. So shouts out to the brother. I appreciate it. And it's all love. My boy, my brother from another, Chop Cheese City. You better get his name right. The L-Y-R to the I-C-S is lyrics, y'all. So for my brother, the lyrics, he showed up season 3, episode 16. And for that season, it was 1 episode. And then for season 4, it's 2 episodes. So in total, it's 3. I know that man's a busy man, but when he jumped in, we appreciated that. So shouts out to my brother, the L-Y-R to the I-C-S, a.k.a. I'll slap the you making fun of Notes, godly. Yeah, what episode did Notes want to slap, bruh? I'm not going back to go figure all of that out, but you might want to go find that there. I think that might have been the first episode. Actually, it might have been the first episode he was on, so it's probably episode 30. Oh man, that's hilarious. Boy, make me think of that. All right, the next one is the first person to ever appear on What's the Word Wednesdays, and it was only right to give him a shirt. His brother only lives like 7 houses away from me, but still, shouts out to my brother Jonathan, the first person to be on the show, as well as my other brother Andreas. It was on that same show. So season 1, episode 1, they was there, locked in, and he came in 1 episode for season 1, and then for season 4, he came 1 episode. So he came in for 2 episodes. So appreciate you, brother. Wherever you at, we all good. Lyrics be sleeping at this time. I know, but sometimes he be up too, so it's up to him. You can add him, do whatever you want. For my other brother who's out in Washington, Seattle, all around in that area, my brother George, he came on for 1 episode and only 1 episode only, because he's just like that. He appears, reappears, disappears. This man is a magician at times. But he came in season 1, episode 6. So shouts out to you, my brother George. Thank you so much for just popping in for that time and talking. Much love to you. For my boy who's the wizard behind the boards, wizard with the words, because he knows words are real spells. I met him a long while back out in Santa Ana. Really good time. Orange County. He came on season 1, episode 5 or 4, if I'm correct, because I thought I still had it there, but it's here. And for season 1, he came on for a total of 2 episodes. Season 2, a total of 3 episodes. Season 3, 1, and season 4, 2, which makes a total of 8 episodes. So shouts out to my brother Freddie. I appreciate you so much for coming through and sharing what you did. Now, we're almost at the end. Don't worry. Ain't going to be no more. You ain't got to hear no more from me. Now, for my folks wondering when I was talking about the disaster episode, they said, what are you doing? No. No. I just know I knew a lot of folks out there, okay? It has nothing to do with that word. No. But I be performing out there a lot.
He was with the twins in Santa Ana? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, my goodness. This fool was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Regulators! Like, no.
Chicken and beef sword.
I
Oh, chicken,
like that one.
chicken and beef is definitely got the
You got
troll of the series
oh
award for sure,
that's
for
funny.
sure. That hands down, like there was no competition, like hands down, hands down.
I
Ah,
remember when I first met Chicken and Beef. I was like, is this person serious?
he was doing the most. He was doing the most. Ah, and before I get to my stuff, I want to make all my honorable mentions as well too for folks who came through. Shouts out to my brother Just Blue. That brother is a dope MC. He came through season 1, episode 3. Shouts out to you. As well as shouts out to my brother Accurate, another dope, crazy poet MC. He came through season 1, episode 6. Shouts out to Chris Millette. That's my brother from
Oh,
another. I've known him since elementary. So like we go way, way back. But he came through season 1, episode 4, and I appreciate him for that. Shouts out to my brother Shaq. I'm not talking about Shaquille O'Neal, but my boy do got them bars and skills on the beats like Shaquille O'Neal. But he came through season 2, episode 7. Shouts out to the sister out in Georgia. I'm not trying to give all the information. Shouts out to Sue, or if you know her by Tsunami.
mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
came on season 2, episode 9. Shout out to my brother Jermaine, aka Under the Influence. He came through season 2, episode 15. Shout out to the brother Eric. He's one of the poets from Kundin, one from running in Kundin's crew. So shouts out to him coming through for a couple of episodes. Came in for 3 episodes actually. Shouts out to the award-winning author, magnificent mother, the potent poet
Mm-hmm.
herself, KMA, aka Kim, for coming through. And the first time she came on was season 2, episode 31. And she's been on for a total for about 7 episodes. So shouts out to Kim as well. Next one's Tanish. She was another one that was from with Kundin and them. So shouts out. I appreciate Tanish coming through episode 234. Hector, who popped in here earlier. Shouts out to Hector again, another person through all of the collabs of people. Shouts out to Big Flutter as well. Season 2, episode 40. Another one, Leo, which this is, again, one of the other folks that came over from Random Thoughts. He was on there for season 3, episode 8. Dope 2 Trill. I forgot who he ran with, but he came in one time just to share his perspective. So shouts out to Dope 2 Trill. Shouts out to the family that's in here. I just said what's up to her. Big Flutter. Big Flutter was on an episode, season 4, episode 3. Shouts out to you, Big Flutter. Shouts out to, you were saying it in here. I saw you, Chicken and Beef, saying names too, from Dope Female Trainer for coming through for 2 episodes in season 4. Thank you so much. Tyler, we're not gonna forget you, Tyra. Of course, this makes 3 for you. So shouts out to you for coming in. You was the final leg. If we was running and I had to pass the baton and you was the anchor leg, you was the anchor leg. So we appreciate you, Tyra. Thank you so much. Came through 3 episodes. Janet was another friend of mine, good friend of mine. She was from college. She came through and she was here season 1. Shouts out to John, which is one of Chairman Dallas's friends, came through on season. The brother that's right here, I got to get the flowers. Thank you, Santi, for coming through. Again, I'm going to say the same thing. Y'all my anchor legs, y'all killed it. You killed it. The 400, the 200 relay, whichever one we doing, killed it.
Thanks, man.
Shouts out to the brother Shinobi, also being on. He came on for a total 3 episodes. So appreciate you, brother, for coming and doing that. As well as shouts out to Smiley for doing the same thing, coming in on an episode and being here with us. So I know there's so many more of y'all folks that would love to give the kudos and love to, but these are just, again, my honorable mentions that I wanted to give out. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all for doing that. Now, to finish this, and I know it's been going on for a while, I'm going to speed through some of this for y'all. But the disaster episode, y'all just like, okay. And it's kind of funny that it's a disaster episode. And when you hear the title, you're going to be like, that's interesting for you to say that. So for me, from my perspective, the disaster episode was season 3, episode 8. And the title of that was, Why Do We Judge Others?
Mm.
very telling that I say it's a disaster episode, and that's what we're talking about. It's hilarious. If you want to know why it's a disaster, in the show, there is a person that came on. Again, I'm not going to say. You can go. You want to find it out. They were all over the place. That it ended up breaking the flow of everything, and a lot of people felt uncomfortable. And that's where I feel I didn't do a great job of facilitating. So it didn't really feel like a lot of conversation was going on in that episode. So now you're gonna go back there and figure out, okay, what it was. Who we just know. He said, "Why you just?" That's why it's ironic for me to say it. That's why. When I look back at it, I was just like, "Yo, that's hilarious, though."
What
Uh, hmm?
season 2?
That's
Season three,
season
episode
3,
8.
episode 8.
Season 3, 8. I'm
He's
gonna
like,
go
"Gonna
back.
write it down." Oh my goodness. What about the episode someone was mad at you for criticism of Kamala Harris?
Oh.
That that actually was me and lyrics on his IG
Mm.
live. It wasn't mine.
Oh,
It was on their IG live. I talked about it on the show because we were talking about in that lane of politics, but it wasn't on what's the word? It was on my brother lyrics his page when it was the election when that happened. But yeah, yeah, that was an interesting time. Yes. Yes, Kundi. I thank you for bringing it up, but yes, you was going ham. um First 3-screen episode. So this is when we start seeing IG actually start doing 3 screens and all the 4-screen stuff. The first episode for me to have 3 of us on here was episode 2, season 9. And those guests that were on there were Sue and Chris Millette. So both of them were on there. Chairman, for some reason, Dallas, it's not letting me add anybody else
oh,
for some weird reason. It's not. And I think it's because
Alex.
we're getting to the end. Like, we technically have like 10 minutes left before it shuts us off. So I'm trying to get through this and just end it correctly for y'all. So I'm glad we played the song before and not now. But 4-screen episode, the first one of the 4 screens when the IG finally got its stuff going was season 2, episode 17. And that was blocking unwanted messages, people, and vibes.
Mm.
Now, the episode where we had multiple guests, and I mean where people had to come in and then come out, a 4-guest episode was season 2, episode 37. And all of those guests that were on was my brother Freddie. We had Kundin, we had Kim, and we had Dallas. All of y'all was there on that one. Yeah, Dallas, you won an award. Yes, brother, you're going to have to talk to me. I got something for you. All right, shortest episodes. The shortest episode, season 2, episode 2, the power of the present moment. And that's very telling for that to be the shortest episode, but the power of the present moment. The longest episode, which honestly it will be today, now, technically, but before that, it was season 4, episode 16, how isms permanently changed the culture.
Mm.
Colorful episodes where I was using my background of all my lights and stuff. We had 27 of those episodes, but it first started season 2, episode 15. So you're like, what do you mean colorful? Just go back to season 2, episode 15, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We already know canceled episodes. We already know who did it. So we ain't got to say no more. All right, episodes that it was just me. Nobody else came on. It was a total of 8 episodes out of all 101 episodes. Seasons with the most episodes, season 2, with 40. Season with the least, season 3, we had 18. And altogether, we had a number of 101 episodes.
Pretty good.
101.
Pretty good.
Now, for my folks who like the math and they want to know, okay, then how much all of these hours and stuff was.
Oh my god.
So I did. I know. I did some math for y'all. Season 1, altogether, it rounded up to 20 hours of content for season 1.
Wow.
Which would equal up to 1,203.62 minutes, if y'all want to be that extra. Season 2, which honestly,
Oh god.
I'm doing the math for 40 episodes. You just guess,
Oh.
Altogether, season 2, it was a total of 81 hours of content, which, if you want to put that together, that's 3 days and 9 hours of content, which makes 4,866.82 minutes.
Hey, Zero.
Feels like you're selling a DVD. So if you want to buy this now for 4 installments of $19.99, like, no. This is too fun -1. Oh my goodness. And for season 3, 42 hours overall. It said a box set. Stop. Which the content altogether is a day and 18 hours, which goes up to 2,537 and 25 minutes. Y'all
Oh
are
my
goofy
God.
with this. Y'all are so goofy with this.
Oh my goodness.
What's the word going wild? I'm so done with y'all. My
You know,
goodness.
one in our class. He was the funniest one in our class.
Oh
Always
my goodness. And to end this, because y'all do it, y'all being extra, and I'm gonna add the 4 hours from today. That would equal up to 60 hours for season 4 of total content. I'm not gonna do all the extra numbers, but that would end up being 2 days and 12 hours worth of content, and that also includes the 1 minute reel that we lost from the other episode that we will keep speaking of, that you already know we're talking about, canceled.
Yes.
But all together for all those seasons,
Wow.
we did this for a total of 200 hours.
Wow.
And now add this 4 hours, 204 hours.
Wow.
And overall, that makes 8 days and 12 hours. So congrats to all of us for this, for What's the Word Wednesdays. I mean, like, y'all, I can't thank y'all enough for the time and the effort and things that you put into being here and, making this what it was. So a lot of things come in threes, but they also come in fours. And I'm grateful for the 4 seasons that we've gotten to do this, and for everybody popping in, whether you was in the beginning, the middle, and even the last episode. We appreciate y'all. Well, we thank y'all so much for just being present and, willing to open up, because I know it's hard to do so in a world that we in, that wants the boxes in and wants to sell us box sets of stuff. But, being serious, that really doesn't allow for us to grow and really think and build on ourselves. I'm glad that we was able to bring that time together to actually create these moments to be able to do so. And I appreciate y'all sharing y'all experience and sharing y'all lives, and not have to be all these deep dark secrets, but like, a portion of yourself, the vulnerability, I really did appreciate, and just know I didn't take it for granted. That's the only reason why I kept going the way that I did. So each and every one of y'all, Crisss, Santi, Chicken and Beef, every single one of y'all. I can name everybody's names, but I still wouldn't be able to do justice to it because there's so many more people I think of off the top of my head. But for my folks again, for Kunden, Chris, Dallas, y'all reach out to me. I got something for y'all. So just remind me. But I am going to be going to a show in like the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to get other stuff going. But any last things, you two, that you would like to say before I wrap up and we finish this? Because I think Instagram is about to time us out.
Yeah.
But
I just want to say thank you, brother, for the opportunity to have us here on, I would call it like an open mic on life. You know what I'm saying? You know, thank you. And you're an amazing facilitator. You bring out the best out of people. And I really, really appreciate you, man. And look forward to, of course, still staying connected with you.
yes, whenever you start back on the podcast, please.
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Yes. He said, play the song. I'm not going to be able to play it at the end because we're going to get cut off. So the song, for those who want to know, then, What's the Word Wednesday's theme song, I will have it exclusively on Bandcamp and possibly put it on YouTube.
Nice.
Coming this Sunday. So just look out for it so you can hear it on Sunday. And then while I'm on my break, because I will be taking a 2-month break and I'll be back in March.
Okay.
It'll be streaming sometime in the end of January. So if you also want to hear it on on IG. Of course, probably later on IG. But on all of the streaming platforms, Spotify and stuff, it will be there. I'll be working on it while I'm taking my hiatus from social media because we also need to disconnect to be able to reconnect. So for sure, got to do it. He said, just play it. No, because then I'm no, ain't gonna do that. He said, let me chill before.
Oh my God.
That is hilarious. And we're not making it 2 episodes. No, we do not want to do that. Crisss, any last thoughts, wrap ups for
And thank
the
you.
finale?
This is not the end. It's just the beginning of something new. So I'm
Yes.
excited. Can't wait. You know. Yeah, that's all. That's all I got. Or I'm gonna start crying, so I'm good.
Now, to finally do it, y'all.
Hmm.
To wrap up, again, thank y'all so much. There's not enough words to explain it and to really give out my full thanks, but just know none of this has went on deaf ears of all that you said and what you shared. It's all here. It's also been captured and immortalized on these videos. Even if something happens with them, just know I have the backups to these videos too. So I always will have these on my drive. So they're always going to end up being here. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Gonna cry on this bike. I ain't got no bike. My bike. I was gonna say my bike got stolen by Debo, but I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, to wrap up, when it comes to current events and being in the know of what's happening, what's going on, again, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Please make sure that you take that time to get aware of what's happening and what's going on, because then you can help set up and prepare not only yourself, but your loved ones, family, friends, and anyone that's there in your circle. And this is just not only locally, but globally. So stay aware and stay informed. When it comes to the best life, you are the interpreter of what that is. You figure out what that entails for you, whether if that's a peaceful life, whether if that is a life of toxicity, if that's your best life, to make it interesting and stuff, or if it's just, again, the simple things that we forget in life.
Hmm.
Live it to the best of your ability. And when it comes to the dangers of awareness, just know that there's a pro, there's a con, there's always the opposite sides of stuff. Ignorance is bliss, and at the same time, awareness does bring pain, but it also brings enlightenment and it brings growth. So just take your time, build the foundation, and please reach out to those people that you know. Create that circle, create that group,
Hmm.
whatever it is. Everybody needs somebody to lean on. Shouts out to Bill Withers. And when it comes to this recap, again, we did it, y'all. 4 seasons, 101 episodes, and again, 204 hours of content. So it's always going to be here. He says, oh, the simple things. Exactly. At this point, we're just going to have to make a remix, and it's going to be simple things at this point. Um, but again, it's been your brother A.D.V.I.S. Thank you, Crisss. Thank you, Santi. Thank you, Kunden. Thank you, everybody that's been a part of this crazy but eventful and beautiful ride. This is not the end, but also beginning to something new. So we always gonna know what's the word, and if you don't know what's the word, you bring the word to create what happens. So other than that, y'all, this is your brother A.D.V.I.S. signing out for the last episode of What's the Word Wednesdays. It's been a pleasure. It's been a ride. We'll catch y'all, and IG about to kick me
There you
out.
go.
So
There you go.
peace.
Good night. Happy New Year.
Likewise.
All right, guys.